Does that answer your question?
Yeah, he couldn't hear the stereo, could he?
She was charged with sexual abuse and domestic assault. I'll let you decide if she's the type you want to date.
Okay.
If she's
That's not a woman.
Brad?
Uh-huh.
Are you going to take the beating?
Oh,
Or
hell yes.
It's like Danny Trejo had sex with Yoda and the baby was raised by a water buffalo.
Universal truth number 14. Pain sucks. If you haven't yet tried Relief Factor, what are you waiting for? Go to ReliefFactor.com, get their 3-week quick start pack for just $20 and see if it helps your chronic pain. ReliefFactor.com.
Well, let's talk about the Golden Globes. Christian Bale said Satan inspired him playing Dick Cheney. Did Satan also inspire him to assault his wife, his sister, and his mother? Did Satan also inspire that? Just asking.
Brandon Morse, today at 1. MoJo 50. Adjust your mojo now. Thank you. The mothership has landed. Doc Thompson. Brad Staggs. The mighty MoJo 50.
On Friday, Wichita Falls police got a call from a local Walmart about a woman who was riding around the store for hours on an electric cart, drinking wine from a Pringles can.
Is that wrong?
How was your weekend?
Who hasn't done that?
How was your weekend?
Oh, I wasn't wearing a wig, if that's what you're asking me. Or maybe I was.
If this isn't a moment in your life where you go, I've made some poor choices, where you stop and consider, you're riding around on one of those scooters, and I guarantee you she was 700 pounds.
I know. Which part of the...
You ever see anybody thin on those scooters?
No.
You know those are for. They're not for the handicapped.
They're for the
handy fat.
Yes.
That's what they're there, right?
Yes.
So you're riding around on a scooter. You know she's 700 pounds. Mm-hmm. And you're drinking wine from a Pringles can. For all of you people that drink wine from a box, this is your story. This is what you're like, damn it. At least I'm not drinking wine from a Pringles can.
Well, she can recap it that way and enjoy a little bit. Because you start rounding the corners on those scooters and it'll start sloshing out.
Ma'am, have you been drinking? No. Just enjoying some Pringles. Just drinking my Pringles here.
Little Mad Dog 2020.
Yeah, what are the odds it was not Boone's Farm?
Yeah. Ernest and Julio Gallo. You know the good stuff.
Can you imagine when the cops show up and they crack a Mad Dog 2020 reference that she gets offended? How dare you?
I would never
drink such swill.
Ever. It's Ernest and Julio.
Let me open another Pringles can of wine.
I find that you have to match the right wine to the right flavor of Pringles, too.
Well, the nice thing about the Pringles can with the wine is you cut out a step of eating Pringles with the wine.
That's true. You get that.
You just get it all right there.
It's like APR coffee. You get that little sour cream and onion.
I think there were probably Pringles in it, if you're doing it right. It's like a Pringles wine slushy. Well, no, come on, Brad. You'll take a handful of Pringles and then a swig of wine, right?
Yeah.
It just cuts out that extra step of raising your fat arm.
Wow.
What am I, an idiot? I'm driving around. I got one hand to the Pringles.
How are you
and I got
the
other.
cart?
Right. And who doesn't have trouble once you get the first 7 Pringles off the top? You got to tip it upside down and get them out this way. You cut out those steps.
That's a good idea.
Pour the wine on the Pringles.
Yep.
It's chunky Pringles wine.
You could eat it from a bowl if you weren't driving the scooter.
Sure, I'm sure she does have a bowl at home.
Pringles oatmeal.
I think those scooters really should come with a feed bag. Because then you don't even have to raise the... That's the next step beyond Pringles wine.
It's a little trough where you can dip your head down.
Right, exactly. You just... And we'll come up with a better name for it than feed bag.
I don't know. Feed bag, it says what it is.
You got to sound a little more high-techy and current, though. That's all it is. You just do something like
a strap-on feed bag.
That could take it in a different direction with their. How about an eye bag?
An eye bag.
Everything's eye or.
Oh, like an eye. I gotcha. Yeah, because the feed bag, generally, you just strap that onto your face. If you wouldn't want it on your face, because then you couldn't communicate. I mean, you got to tell
True.
people to get the hell out of your way.
Maybe it's rests around your neck, so you can lean down and
right,
and then you're back up and communicate.
And you put a little mirror on it, so while you're leaning down, you can still look in the mirror and see what's in front of you.
Good point.
See, you don't want to drive those things crazy.
Now you're thinking.
I've been run into by one of those. They hurt.
Hi, Doc Thompson, CEO of Pringles International, introducing our new product, Pringles Wine. Are you tired of lifting one hand to eat the Pringles and lifting the other hand to drink wine at the same time? Cut out that step with new Pringles Wine. We grind up Pringles into a fine powder. Then we pour the wine right on top. You get the salty, potatoey goodness in your wine.
I won't go anywhere without my Pringles wine. And if you order now, you'll get the strap-on feed bag free.
I think she probably made this herself in an Instapot.
It's possible. She would have made it faster than, like in a crock pot. Because they're fast.
The incident began around 9 a.m. when officers responded to a call to check on a suspicious woman riding around on a scooter, often in circles, drinking from a Pringles can. Upon investigation, they found her at a nearby restaurant still drinking. There was wine in the Pringles can.
Well, of course.
She was notified that she was banned from Walmart.
Now, is that a lifetime ban, or is it just for the rest of the week, the day?
It's usually lifetime.
Man.
And that's all Walmart properties.
She can't even go to the Walmart neighborhood grocery store?
I don't think so. That's usually how it is.
Huh.
Usually, the only reason you get banned from a Walmart is theft. If you are banned from Walmart, not for theft,
you're doing it.
You're
doing it wrong.
That's that mark. I mean, that's one of those red flags. That's one of those marks in life where, again, warning, you're heading the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Your life is about to go off a cliff. There's many red flags there. There's many. It's kind of like driving down a road and you see, hey, lane ends soon.
Yeah.
Or freeway coming to an end.
Yeah.
Right?
And
and then there's another one, a mile down the road. Sometimes they cut a mile down. That's a second warning. And then the rumble strips.
Yeah.
And then a second set of rumble strips. And then the flashing lights.
Yeah.
And then the final is the barricade. Yeah. Right? Yeah. She's not at the barricade yet.
She's close.
But she's at that second set of rumble strips.
Yeah.
Right?
She should be listening. She really should be thinking about her choices by now.
The final barricade is, I don't know, that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez sounds bright.
That's just as you smash into it.
Right. That's your last thought before you break through the little barricade and end up in a farmer's barn.
With the horses.
With the horses, right, exactly. Or careening off the cliff. Whatever's beyond the barricade. But many, many other little warning signs where you're like,
yeah,
not sure about these life choices.
Yeah.
So I was banned from Walmart, not for theft, but rather from drinking wine from a Pringles can.
On a scooter. In the parking lot.
So, how was your weekend? Ask again. Was it that exciting?
It was fabulous compared to that. Yes. I've made much better.
I know.
Relatively better, somewhat better life
choices.
Yeah.
A little bit better.
Yeah. By a percentage point or two, maybe. Although there were moments.
Wow. A Utah teenager may face reckless driving charges after trying to complete the Bird Box Challenge on the highway. So how was your weekend?
You know what? I have made some fabulous choices in my life. Absolutely. I'm in the right place. That just sent it right over the edge.
I want you to know somewhere there's a lady riding an electric scooter drinking wine from a Pringles can going, moron.
Damn.
Driving on the highway blindfolded. Idiot.
What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, she might be, or he might be the only one she is qualified to mock.
I think so. Yeah.
So explain Bird Box without giving the show away. People wear blindfolds, right?
They wear blindfolds to avoid
something bad.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
But this is your life now. You take off the blindfold, trouble could happen.
Yes.
So people have to go through their lives.
Unless you're in a safe space.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And in one scene, they do drive a car blindfolded using the sensors on the car and the backup camera.
Yeah.
And the GPS.
Yeah, he didn't have that.
Yeah, that could be a problem then, because if you can't see anything, you're going to run into something.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're in the middle of the Great Salt Flat.
Yeah, he'd probably be okay there.
Yeah.
He was in Utah, but he was on the highway.
Well, that's a problem then.
He's 17. He was driving on Layton Parkway near Interstate 15. He had a 16-year-old passenger with him, and they decided to try the Bird Box Challenge. So they blindfolded themselves to see if they could do everyday tasks. The driver pulled a beanie over her eyes and kept driving.
Good for her. What'd she run into?
She overcorrected while driving, skidded into the eastbound lane. She hit another car, a light pole, a sound wall before coming to a stop.
I have to say that takes talent to hit three things.
Yeah, no one was injured, shockingly. So I call that a success.
I would say she
Congratulations, you did it.
She did it.
I mean, success is not avoiding hitting things because you're going to hit stuff.
You just want to stay alive.
Right, exactly. Yeah. In fact, she hit a lot of things and stayed alive, so maybe she won.
I think she did at this point, yeah.
I mean, if she may have thought success was, I didn't hit anything.
Right.
Oh, that wasn't going to happen, sweetheart.
No, even in the movie, she hits things, so, you know.
Oh, do they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well then, good to go.
Of course, yeah. But they survive, and that's at some point, up to a certain point, or maybe they don't. No spoilers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's they're considering reckless driving charges against her. So
Considering,
yeah.
Considering.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to rush.
Why you don't? Okay. Why wouldn't you just at that point say there must be an attorney involved?
Well, unless there is a new charge that you could be charged with in Utah called stupidity. Unless there's a charge of stupidity that they've enacted in Utah.
Driving under the influence of stupidity.
Stupidity, then, yeah.
That could be a problem.
I'm sorry, we're going to charge you with DUS.
What's DUS?
Driving under the influence of stupidity.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, that's here in Utah. Over in California, we have DWS. That's driving while stupid. So you have that.
There's a lot of that there.
There is really
a lot of that there.
You know, you just got to get it right based on the state. I mean, seriously, unless they have that, you're right. Why wouldn't you have automatically given her the reckless driving charge?
Yeah, I don't know why. They've got, I haven't checked lately, but there have to be dozens, if not hundreds, of videos now on YouTube of people doing the challenge.
Oh, I would probably.
So somebody has to have gotten seriously hurt at this point in time.
Now, what was the one where they were jumping outside the car and dancing around while the car's still moving? Remember that challenge? That was just a couple of months ago.
It was?
Yeah, where your car is still in gear.
Yeah.
And from the ones I saw, it's not like people were driving 70, down the highway and jumped out. It was like your car is still just kind of idling along. Still in gear, though. Not going fast, maybe a couple miles per hour. And people jump outside the car and then start dancing around. And they leave the little video on in the car. That was just a couple of months ago. Ron Phillips is a man with his finger on the cutting edge of society. Do you recall that challenge? Have you seen that one?
I recall the challenge, but I don't remember what it was.
But that was within the last couple of months, though.
Yeah, probably over the last year.
Okay.
Complete, yeah.
So
I don't remember, but we don't know what movie that had to have been from. I don't know, movie, right?
No, not necessarily.
No, I don't think that was from a movie at all.
Are you kidding me? People come up with this crap now just...
Yes, it's like planking or the cinnamon challenge.
I started to say, did you see people shoving cinnamon in their mouth?
Yeah, remember the cinnamon challenge?
Which was rather entertaining, actually.
That was a different cinnamon challenge that I had when I was growing up.
Was she one of the Poltitsky twins?
No, and it was cousins, and it was Candy Cousins. Sorry. She was a neighborly. Never mind. Yeah, the cinnamon challenge. When people are like trying to eat a tablespoon of cinnamon. There's all kinds of these idiotic things.
This makes the Tide Pod challenge seem tame.
Or snorting condoms.
God,
remember that?
That's right. What the hell is wrong with people?
You don't snort condoms, please. You just ingest them orally.
Oof, that was a gutter water moment.
So I wonder if anybody has taken the one where they jump outside and dance along the car, along with the bird, combine the two of them. So you keep the car in gear, blindfold yourself, jump out and do a little dance and hop back in.
I had the first thing I thought of was like not Dirty Dancing. What's the other one? Kevin Bacon.
Footloose,
that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why they were doing this.
It's
but...
the Kiki Challenge.
Okay.
He was
Do we know
in my.
is?
It was the in my. It's the In My Feelings challenge. It must be some video.
Oh my gosh!
Because man, here's one head. Man hit by car doing the Drake In My Feelings viral dance challenge.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, there were a bunch of those.
So wait a minute. If I get out of my car while it's moving, there's a chance that another car on the street could hit me?
Yes, that's right. That's right. It could.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, in fact, there could be a lot of things that go wrong. For example, some people had their own car run them over. You knew that, right? They got run over by their own car.
Wow.
Do you know? I mean, I say you win. You get the gold if your own car runs you over. Logistically, that is so difficult.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's not just being dumb. You've got to work at being dumb. You're like, damn it, this is not nearly dumb enough.
Right.
What else could I do to be dumb?
Right.
How could I up this level of ignorance?
Yeah. Yeah, it takes special courage. It takes a special mindset. It takes nerves
We
of
might be
steel.
approaching this wrong. It's thinning the herd, you know.
Oh, definitely Darwin at
This
Darwin
is
at work.
this is natural selection.
Mm-hmm.
You run these people over. The problem is we're saving them.
Well, we can't save them all. In the end, nature will win. It doesn't matter what we do.
Yeah, but I think our EMTs now need to have kind of a prime directive. Or a directive that's very near the top.
All right.
And that is, if it's quickly determined the reason they got injured was their own stupidity. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking normal, I didn't see that there, stupidity. I laid the wrench down in the wrong place.
Right.
Stuff, anyway, yeah, that's fine. You just,
happens.
Yeah, you get busy, distracted. I'm talking about where you step out of your moving car, do a little dance, and hop back in. Where you're driving blindfolded, stupid. Mm-hmm. Those EMTs need to just hop back, pack it all up, and go away.
Just let them go.
We must get to the accident immediately. They were wait, what?
They were doing what?
Blindfolded.
Yeah.
All right, pack it up, boys. Let's go.
But by the way, if you're doing the challenge, the Kiki challenge or whatever it is, police around the world warning that someone will be seriously injured or killed if people keep taking part in the challenge. And they say participants will face fines for not wearing a seatbelt.
Oh, well, thank God.
It's hard to wear a seatbelt when you're standing next to the car. They'll also be charged with driving without paying due attention, recording on a mobile phone while driving, and endangering third parties.
I got to call foul on the third one.
What's that? The third party?
No, the mobile phone.
Oh, recording on a mobile phone. So
you can't record even if it's just set up in your car? They probably mean while you're driving.
But technically, they're not driving.
That's what I'm saying.
If they're not driving,
I was a driving officer. Exactly. I'm sorry, Your Honor. My client was not driving at the time.
There you go.
See, they were out of the car. They weren't even in the car at the time it was recording.
So they couldn't have been driving.
Right.
So you're right. That one needs to go away. That's probably the one that they throw in there. That's the extra thing that they bargain. That's their bargaining chip.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of that one.
Yeah. We'll plead you.
I'm arguing that, Your Honor. That must be thrown out. They were not even in the car at the time of the filming.
Yeah.
We have it on film. They weren't in the car.
Right.
Yeah, that's because your client got out of the car while driving.
Cops are warning that teenagers should avoid carrying out the In My Feelings challenge in a vehicle. Where the hell else are you going to... Okay, you can't do the In My Feelings challenge if you're not in a vehicle.
You know, the problem is with this 17-year-old girl who did the Bird Box challenge.
Right.
She was already hindered in her driving abilities.
Other than the fact that she's a woman?
That's the one I'm going
That's obvious. Well, you'd have to state that.
I mean, she was likely going to hit those things anyways.
Oh, of course.
If I'm her attorney, that's what I argue in court.
Was she Asian?
I think they probably would have said that. Plus, it's Utah, so no.
How do you know if she's blindfolded?
Oh, how do you know she's Asian if she's blindfolded? That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
And the driving, being a woman, you wouldn't know.
I mean, she could have taken the blindfold off before she got before the police got there and just said, "Hey, look at me. What'd you expect?"
So you really wouldn't know if she was in the accident because she was a woman,
right?
Or Asian if she was blindfolded because she was, or blindfolded because she was likely going to hit those anyways. Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of decisions they would have had to have made right
I think there's a hell of a legal precedent that could be made there.
I think so. She'll probably get off.
And
not get a ticket.
Not get any tickets or punishment. That could be.
Two most important questions. Yeah, was she hot?
They didn't release pictures that I saw. There could be now, but at the time I found the story, I did not see them.
Just checking. And I mean, she was underage, so.
I'm sorry. You asked if she was hot. We don't know if she was Asian. We already established that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I did there? Because it was.
I do see what you did there.
Because there's a stereotype involved here with me, and unfounded, of course.
Wow, here's one on Instagram of someone doing the In My Feelings challenge with a camel running next to them.
Huh.
You know what? It's a beautiful world when you can do the In My Feelings challenge and capture a camel in the same video. That it is a fabulous world.
There's the car.
Well, you know what? She didn't completely destroy it, surprisingly.
Not bad by compare what you'd expect it could be, right?
Sure wasn't a Chevy, was it?
So, yeah.
It would have really been messed up then.
All right. Wow. That's so how was your weekend then? By comparison, pretty good, right?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Mine was fabulous.
Yeah,
I didn't run into anything. The only thing, I overshot my exit once. But I was, and when I was driving, I went past the exit too.
So why did you?
That's a good question. I realized that as I did it, I got like 2 miles down the road and looked around, and I was like, "Where the hell am I? I've made this drive how many times?" And I thought, "Okay, did I?" And I wasn't using GPS, so I thought, "Where the?" And so I turned on GPS. It's like, oh, it was back there.
When you turned it on, did they go, "You are a moron. Turn around"?
Pretty much. That's so disconcerting, though, because you realize I have no idea where I've been for the past 2 minutes. I may have been abducted. It's possible.
Wow. I would so like to mock you for this. I so want to mock you for bad passengers. Nope.
Never done it?
I've done it many times in the past couple of days.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
At least twice in the past couple of days.
It's so weird because you realize I have no idea where I've been for the last 2 minutes.
I had to take Wyeth to the doctor on Sunday morning, let's call it. And I'm driving down, and I know I had taken a little express ER type place, and I know right where it is. I'm driving down the road, and I look up, and I was like, wait a minute. I've gone too far. Past it, same thing.
Yeah. And you just...
It's all stress. That's what it is. I mean, in my case, it's stress. In yours, it's just...
They say stress.
It's senility and Alzheimer's, but that's a different thing. So.
What were we talking about?
I'm sorry?
Where am I?
Yeah, I had to take Wyeth to the doctor on Sunday morning and Cubby to a birthday party Saturday afternoon.
Then you didn't get those two mixed up.
Not a fun week for the doctor.
Oh,
Not
come
a fun
on.
week at all.
Got to spend time with the kids.
So I get in the little doctor's office, and it's a little bit, and she's like, insurance card. I handed it to her, and she was like, yeah, this one's expired. And I was like, oh. She texts my wife, can you send me? So she sends me another insurance card, a picture, and the woman starts. Click, click, click. Click, click, click.
Meet the parents.
Right. It's like 40 minutes of this. It's like 7 digits in the little. Okay.
Right.
Finally, she's like, yeah, this expired.
Doesn't it say it right there on the card whether or not it's expired?
Apparently not. So I'm like, how do we have 2 different expired ones? We've only had this insurance since last October.
Right.
There was a new policy first of the year, and that card scrubs. I text my wife again. Let me look. Can't find it. Woman's like, maybe we can look it up with their social security number. Looks it up because my primary. Another 20 minutes of that. Nothing.
Nope,
and finally, I was like,
either.
I'll just pay for the love of God. Just charge it to my account. And then in the last second, my wife goes, oh, I think they changed providers on us.
That's what it is.
So the woman goes, oh, yeah, here it is. She said it entered social security. Boom, it came right up.
Who is coughing?
Ron.
Oh.
So.
Okay. I thought I was hearing that in my head.
No.
Sorry.
No, sorry.
So shockingly, it wasn't me that time. So, anyways, finally got through all of that nonsense and ended up them going, yeah, there's nothing wrong with him. No, it was viral and everything's fine. His temperature wasn't, and I told my wife and mother-in-law they didn't freaking listen to me.
See?
I said it's going to be a virus. I can tell this, that, or the other. Went down the list or whatever. Well, you should take him anyways. Okay.
See, and that's always the mom versus dad thing. The moms always want to take him to the doctor.
No, actually, and I'm the one who at times am like, no, you got to take him now.
Oh, see, I'm the opposite. It's like, nah, that'll be fine.
Well, no,
that arm will grow
We were on
back.
vacation a couple years ago. Cubby fell and split his head open, the back of his head.
Right.
And she was like, I don't know. And I looked at it and I'm like, he's got to go. Trust me, he's going to need stitches.
Duct tape.
So
Duct tape. It works every time.
it's a good weekend. Hopefully you had a good weekend. More of your Daily Mojo coming up next for this Monday, January 14th in the year of our Lord, 2019.
A mojo for every state. Mojo 50.
I'm Michael Pelka from PureOpelka.com. Here's your 2-minute drill for a Monday. I think I found it. I think I found the one thing that America can agree on, the one thing that would reunite the now divided states of America and give us hope and possibility of a prosperous future. I'm talking about civics. Now, this story should not surprise you. 26% of Americans are unable to identify all three branches of the U.S. government. Hell, we've seen Chuck Schumer get it wrong. We've seen Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez get it wrong. So why would it surprise you that the country can't get it right? So here's what we do. We follow in the footsteps of Indiana and Pennsylvania and 17 other states who are requiring kids graduating from high school to pass a citizenship test. It means we'd have to study civics in schools. We'd actually have to teach kids about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, what's guaranteed by the First Amendment, what the heck the Second Amendment means. This is possibly the best news ever. So Indiana, for bringing it up last week, and actually Pennsylvania's Democratic Governor Tom Wolf is behind this too, and it makes me nervous when I agree with a guy like that. But I say yes. Until they pass a civics test, nobody should be given a high school diploma. All right, now go look up the citizenship test and see if you can pass it. Testudo, my friends. Testudo.
Mike Opalka's 2-minute drill is powered by MoJoWildRice.com. Their wild rice is a superfood, gluten, sodium, fat, and cholesterol-free, yet high in fiber, protein, zinc, phosphorus, and trace minerals. But you're going to love it because it's delicious. MoJoWildRice.com. MoJoWildRice.com. Got some communiques?
Indeed, Larky Farkin says, how about the Kiki get back in the damn car challenge? That's a good idea. And this one is frightening.
I like the Sharkeisha challenge.
Which one's that?
Sharkeisha, no.
Kinsey Richards, you should go on YouTube, check out the Comet challenge. Like Comet Cleaner.
Oh.
Is that one?
I don't know. That can only be one of two things. It's either ingesting somehow or scrubbing something with it. And none of that sounds pleasant to me.
Ron, have you scrubbed anything with Comet lately?
I have not.
How about Banami?
But you can count on them not doing the scrubbing side of it.
I was going to say,
They shy away from cleaning as it is.
What should you not do with Comet? That's what they're doing.
This is so stupid. The most we did was hold our arms together and drop a lit cigarette there to see who can take it longer.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, you put your arm together, you drop a lit cigarette in your two arms and see who could suffer.
We did the Indian burn challenge.
That was a more challenge. That was messing with people.
No, you go up. It's like how long you can take it. You keep twisting theirs.
No, you don't. Who takes it?
Why was it an Indian burn anyway?
You're right. It probably should have been a Native American burn.
Or was it Indian dot?
No, it was feather, not dot.
Because it wasn't a rope.
Oh, the Native Americans used to do that.
They did not.
That was one of the tortures.
That was one of
when they captured the white guy.
They would capture the pilgrims.
And they would just
then
their
twist their
arm
skin
back and forth, right.
Until they then where the
succumb.
hell is that ship of yours?
I'm not going to tell you. I won't tell you. Okay. It's right there in the harbor. See that big
right there. It's
see the big wooden thing?
It says Mayflower
Right.
on the side.
USS Mayflower. The sails are right there.
Your registration's expired.
Over there, the Pinta, the Santa Maria.
That's much later. No, that was earlier.
Earlier, Nina back there.
That was that white guy. Free-range prisoner. Wait a damn minute. How do police know these challenges were on public streets? We can drive however we want on private property. Well, I'm guessing the cops weren't wearing blindfolds.
Right, exactly. No, this woman was on the Layton Parkway.
Right.
It's right near I-15. She was.
It's hard to hit a light standard and a car. And
they probably mean the other ones where they're dancing about.
Right. No, that's true. Yeah. Well, and the one with the camel in it, that had to have been.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it was. I don't know. That's something to think about. Patrick Latimer says, new standard for a good weekend. How was your weekend? Good. Was it getting banned from Walmart while drinking wine from a Pringles can? Good. No. And there you have it. Mm-hmm.
That would have been better than my weekend. How sad is that?
You know, as you get older, you crave those weekends that aren't filled with drama, that aren't filled with heartache, that, you know, it's mundane. It's routine.
Because I was at Walmart over the weekend.
Mm-hmm. So you got to spend a little time.
That's inaccurate.
You got to spend a little time.
That was inaccurate, what I just said.
Okay.
I was at many Walmarts many times over the weekend.
And were they successful? That's the question.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I went to Walmart at least 7 times over the weekend.
Were you buying Pringles?
And no, it was at least 8 times and 5 different locations.
What were you looking for that you couldn't find at the first one?
Oh, no, I found it at the first one. There just wasn't enough of them, so I had to go to another one. And there still wasn't enough, so I had to go to another one.
You want to know what it was, or just too much information?
I can sum it up in a word. Wife.
Ah, yep, there you go. That's it. That's all you need.
God bless my wife. She is such a hard worker. She was working on her little side business all weekend.
You know, most people say my wife is beautiful, she's loving, she's kind, and you come out with...
Oh, she's not loving, please.
She's a hard worker.
Please. Kind? Yes, she is very kind to other people.
Beautiful woman.
Beautiful woman and kind to everybody else. She was working on her little business this weekend. I mean, God bless her. She worked almost nonstop. She got 2 hours sleep Friday night.
She has to support you. So.
3 or 4 hours on Saturday night. That was it. Mm-hmm. And she was out the door heading to Little Rock to do a bunch of interviews on Sunday, nonstop. But that meant that I had to do other things like take care of the kids. That's fine. Mm-hmm. And I had to run errands for her. And the errands included, I need you to go get me these labels, these specific little labels, tags, actually. Mm-hmm. You know, little clothing tags.
Yeah.
Either on string or plastic or whatever. It says large, small, and you get all the information. She needed a bunch of those tags for her clothing business.
Right.
And she had run out of ones that she already had her logo and stuff on.
All right. Was she going to print her logos on these new ones? Or?
No, she has some stickers she put on. They were temporary or whatever until she gets her new shipment in. But she needed like 120 of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right. So she goes, go there. And they're in this section. I went there. They weren't in that section. They were in a different section. So after wandering around Walmart, asking the people in there, no idea what I was talking about, trying to explain them because they're a specific kind, finally found them. And they were in packages of 20.
Right.
I found them. She needed about 120 of them. The first store only had 1 packet. And I texted her, no problem.
Right.
I'll just stop at another store. Went to the second one. They had none. To the third store, they had 2. This was a slow process.
Did you at any point in time think about downloading the Walmart app, doing a search for the product, and seeing, hey, in this store there's and
I didn't know I could do that.
Yes,
but it didn't matter anyways. They were all within roughly the same distance. I would have whatever.
Right.
And by the way, there were so few, I still would have had to go to the store anyways.
Right.
2, 1, 3.
Right.
So after 4 or 5, I finally got 120 that she needed. So I got 6 packs of them. And when I cleaned up her mess after the weekend, I looked. There were 2 packs she didn't need. At most, she needed only was 80. Most.
Have the bruises healed yet, or is she still having?
I noticed that as I was leaving. It was like, okay. So that was that. Plus, I had other Walmart adventures I had to go to.
Right.
That was it. Oh, and I need safety pins. Go get me safety pins. Oh, and I need this.
Safety. Oh, to attach them, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was it. But man, she is crushing with her business, though. She is doing really well.
At least one of the two of you is successful.
Bringing in some money, right? No, she's got this business. You want a little life lesson here too, or a business lesson. You know, we share ideas. Please make yourself successful. Steal some of our ideas, and then think of us fondly.
Well,
by that I mean
we'd
remember.
have to have the successful ideas first for people to.
No.
A lot of times people just look at us and say, "What are they doing?"
Do the opposite.
We're doing the opposite. Yeah.
No, I mean, dude, I have come up with many, many ideas of things that have already been invented or things that I can't. I had that idea 20 years ago.
Yeah.
We've had a couple in there. She came up with this clothing business. And she started selling ties, bow ties for kids and some other, and she knew she would expand it. And she found this niche. You want to talk about niche? There's lots of people that manufacture things. Lots of people do wholesale or retail sales of other things, kind of a middleman website, successful, fine. She has stumbled into this area of dressing kids kind of like babies, old school, Southern, like you'd see kids dressed in the 50s almost,
right.
Okay? Classic style. I think most of it looks ridiculous.
It's probably not what you want to put in the ads.
Look at me.
Buy
I
our
think
stuff. It looks ridiculous.
No. I think you do because I obviously have no clue.
Okay.
Because it's not a huge group of people.
Right.
It's not the masses.
Right.
But it is this smaller group of people that love it. These Southern women gobble it up. And she stumbled on this because that's how she liked to dress the kids. And I was like, that's fine when they're, 6 months, a year. Get to a year, you got to make them look normal, And I was like, okay, I just washed my hands of it. Whatever, fine. I'm fighting a losing battle. And then I couldn't bitch too much because she got in this vein of people who enjoy it. And she started her business.
Do they have money?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. I was married to a Southern woman once.
Okay. So you know.
I'm just leaving it right there.
Okay, there it is. Right. Well, and my wife's a Southern woman. South Korea,
yes,
but still it's Southern, right?
Yes, that's a good point.
No, she identifies, this is the oddest thing, with the Southern plantain lifestyle. This is who she...
Plantain or plantation?
Plantation.
Aha.
Plantain, not the fruit.
The banana.
Not the banana, the plantation. Thank you.
Yeah, very well.
That's,
Yes, of course.
This is who... And I am certainly...
Absolutely. They have some money. They are willing to spend it, and we are willing to make products to spend their money on.
So she came up with her own designs that are within this, style that they like. Then she went out and found the manufacturers in the U.S. So most of the stuff is made in the U.S. And then you can customize the stuff.
Right.
I don't like the styles.
You're just pissed because she's smarter than you.
Oh, no, I don't care. As long as I still, get the gravy. That's all I'm looking for, right? Fine, make some money, whatever. But she, the quality and all of that and the way she's put this together and realizing the need for this or the market for this, amazing. She's done, there's like 10 amazing things she's done. The style, I'm like, I don't get it, but that's also why it's successful.
Involve math?
Involves all that.
There you go.
So she sits at home, does it all on her phone or on this broken ass computer we have.
Is it Windows 3?
It's a Lenovo.
Wow. Well, they make some decent stuff.
That's 8 years old.
Okay.
7. 7 or 8 years old.
It's not horrible.
And the screen wouldn't illuminate all the way. It was like the lowest setting. So she's staring at the computer an inch away from it. And it was an old computer of mine. And we just can't afford to go out and buy a new one. We can't afford the couple grand. I'm not bringing in a whole lot of cash right now. So I looked at it, and she's been doing this for months. And finally one day I was like, this has got to be a software issue. There's got to be a fix for it.
Right.
So I searched for it online. Sure enough, I restarted, hit a couple buttons, whatever. Boop. And so she's like, oh my God, thank God. She had, are you ready for this? She had made her screen, her wallpaper, a snowstorm setting, so it's as white as possible. See through it, trying to solve the problem. She's like, oh, you've increased my productivity so much. So, but God bless her for finding this this group, right? And getting in this and finding a need for it. And the ladies are loving it. And so she's doing some that are kind of like trying to almost like Tupperware party-esque for these clothes.
I've heard about those.
Right. Where the ladies host other ladies that, I'm saying ladies, I don't want to discriminate. Gentlemen, if you like the kids' clothes, fine. If you're going to the party, who cares?
Whatever you're into.
I'm fine. If you'll pay me, so be it.
Having a special little boy's pants half off.
Sure, that's fine. Hey-o. So they'll host the parties, and the other women come there, and they show because she's got new lines of clothes constantly coming out or whatever, and then she customizes individuals for the people that are there, but then she's got special ribbons and stuff that only those hosts get. It's this whole marketing thing that I'm like, wow, okay.
If it ends in a check being written, that's all that counts.
All I know is that there are labels and boxes and stuff all over the house. It's insane. So that was pretty much
translates into money. That's the key.
It has a little bit so far, not a lot, but if predictions are accurate,
remember,
it could be good.
The guy who invented the pet rock is probably sitting on a beach somewhere.
Right.
Or he's dead. One of the two.
I mean, I don't think it's retirement money, but it may be her full-time job money by the end of the year.
You know, the average retirement lasts 18 years, by the way. 18 years. You got to make your money stretch at the end of it.
You mean because you die, or you're like, that's it, I'm back into the job force?
I guess could be either one, but 18 years. So if you retired at 65, 75, 83, that's probably the end of the road, average.
Wow.
Yeah. So you got like 18 years at the end of all of this to try to enjoy stuff. You know, making your money and not being in pain, making your money stretch and not, being able to get up out of the chair before you pee yourself.
Yeah.
There's that.
Wow. Well, I have been really stupid over the years. See, I thought...
yes, you have, incredibly.
See, in radio and broadcast general, you don't make a lot of money. And it's all about, back in the day especially, it was about the market size and the reach. And you'd put in a lot of time. Kid, you don't know what you're talking about. We, the baby boomers, we're in control here. Shut up until you get some experience. And I get some experience, and it's all about the young kids.
Yeah.
But I knew that at some point I would develop, grow, get some skills, eventually climb into those bigger markets and make a living. And then I'd have to catch up.
Still out there. You would you might be able to
someday be able to do that. And right about the time that I got there, everything shifted because I knew I'd have to make up for retirement down the road. Folks, I would make like $200 a week when I started in broadcasting.
That's because you love the business. It's the glory, it's the fame, it's the bright lights.
My third, 3.5, because one of them was 2, let's say third. My third radio job, full-time. My third full-time radio job, I made $170 a week.
Did you spend it all in one place?
That was my third.
Keep trying. You're going to make it someday, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started in, at the time, Cleveland, it was, let's say, 1995. 95, 96.
Right.
Cleveland at the time was like market 22. Pretty big market at the time. 19, 20, 22, right through there. I made 26.5.
Wow. And you haven't, out of all that money, you've not been able to save up a sizable chunk for retirement.
I know I still should have found a way to put some away. I just was playing the game and figured I'd make it up down the road, and I didn't get that opportunity. So now it's like, okay, now I need a lot of money to come in quickly. Don't do what I did. This is one of those. Learn from my example.
Hashtag don't be like Doc.
Don't be like Doc, and contact Era Capital Management today. That's eracapitalmanagement.com and see what they can do for you. If you have an old 401k or some old retirement plans, you don't understand, where they are, what they're doing. I mean, you may not, I don't even know if they're making any money. Contact Era Capital Management today, and they can help you out. They'll tell you the status. They'll monitor it so you don't have to. Because you need somebody that's actively taking care of this, right?
They should trademark that phrase. We'll monitor it so you don't have to.
I like that. Era Capital Management. If you've already got a sizable investment, maybe it's a couple $100,000, they might be able to do better for you. Just contact them today and see. EraCapitalManagement.com. That's the best way. And don't worry, well, what's it going to cost me? They'll tell you about their fee structure, but it's based on if you make money, they'll make money. It's not like, okay, every trade's going to cost you $116 or $13. If you call for their consultation, it's not going to cost you any money there. If you make money, they will make money. That's how they get it.
So if you want to live under a bridge when you're retired, don't call EraCapitalManagement.com. If you want to live out of a shopping cart and have a Kelvinator box as your primary residence,
if you want your retirement to be hinging on the possibility that your wife will find the perfect niche of children's clothes to sell and spend your weekends going to Walmart looking for tags and stepping on straight pins all around the house, the possibility that you may have a retirement, then don't call them.
Correct. And by the way, their phone number is so simple to remember. It's 509-559-6229. That's
505-559.
Wrong. 509-559.
509-559. We might want to just do this in pieces.
Or just 50955-96229.
Give me the last four.
6229.
6229. So 509-559-6029.
That's what I said. 5095596-229.
So the area code, the exchange, and the number all end in 9.
Yes, they do. And there's some 5s in there. And
the first two,
couple of 2s.
the area code and the exchange, will start with 5.
That's correct.
So 509-559-6229.
That's what I said. 509-596-229. That's all you have to do. I mean, the phone number's on their website.
EraCapitalManagement.com. Contact them today.
Era Capital Management, LLC is a registered investment advisor. Era Capital Management, LLC provides fee-only portfolio management. The advisor may not transact business in states where it is not appropriately registered, excluded, or exempted from registration. Keep in mind that investing involves risk. The value of your investment will fluctuate over time, and you may gain or lose money. No strategy can assure success and is not guaranteed. EraCapitalManagement.com.
Coming up a little under half an hour from right now, we're going to run down the list of people who are running for president.
And it keeps expanding.
Elizabeth Warren, I think, really bumped up everybody's time frame.
She kicked it up a notch.
She did. She announced so early that they're already coming out. And we have some people that will likely announce in the next couple of days, some that already announced over the weekend. And Matt Locke and I have been fascinated by this for months. What's the over-under for the number of people that will officially, and I'm not talking about some crazy guy in his mom's basement, I'm running for president.
Right.
I mean, legitimately, politicians or notable people that have a shot at it. What is your over-under for the number of people that could likely end up on stage in the debates?
How many were there in the...
17, I believe, for the Republicans.
Then I'm going to say...
It will top that, I believe.
23.
The over and under. So what if you were a what do you call it? A sports bettor? What do you call the person that does it? A bookie.
Yeah.
What would you set the over under where most people would go, oh, I have a tough time trying to figure 20 is my set.
I was going to say 21. 2021.
Yeah, so 20 is the one where you're going,
yeah.
It's probably under. Oh, it could be over.
It could be.
So the over under, I'm going to set at 20. If you set the over under at 20, I'm going to take the over.
Yeah, I would. Yes, I would too. Because I think
if the over under was 25, would you take the over under?
25.
See, okay, so maybe that's the. If I set it at 20, you take an under over.
Over.
Okay, 25 over under.
I'm inclined to say under, but it's
23 over under.
Ooh, over.
So
25 is where it starts getting hairy.
Ron Phillips, if I set the over-under at the number of people running for president on the Democrats over the next 2 years.
And you hadn't lost all your money.
If I set it at 25, are you taking the over-under?
Probably under.
23, over-under.
Yeah, that's close.
That's got to be.
I was going to say 22, but
I'm trying to find the odds
Wow.
online. I can't find
That's telling right
That's
there,
a
isn't
lot
it?
of people.
There are people coming out of the woodwork already that are just several congressmen. We haven't had a congressman run for president and win in, I don't know, a century.
Right.
Maybe it's 150 years. Although Donald Trump had no public, office experience, so that's in
Look
holding
what we
all
got,
that.
a basket full of hate.
Right. We have mayors, several mayors, some of them not big cities that are coming out. Anyways, we'll cover more of that coming up in just next hour after your headlines, bottom of next hour. All right, let's get some communication. I feel like you've been neglecting your duty.
By the way, according to Vegas odds, John Kasich is 40-1.
For being a Democrat?
For being, in the Democrat race.
To become president or to run?
Ranked several Republicans.
Probably to become.
Replace Trump, Ohio's governor, blah, blah, blah.
Is that
This is just Republicans, too.
Okay.
Marco Rubio, 33-1. Odds
that's
are fascinating.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yes, I have been remiss, and it's Doc's fault. Tainted camouflage sleeve tweeted Liz Warren 2020. Hey. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
See, I see what you did there. MCDMXDM. So you're saying be healthy enough to work at least 70 hours weekly until you die is not a good retirement plan.
No, apparently not.
Yeah, but it's the one we've chosen. And Robert Phillips said what I learned today. To be fair, Doc Thompson's $170 a week back then was like $10,000 today. Just saying.
I don't think it was, guys.
I don't know if it was that much. 8 or 9, maybe.
I know I afforded at that time a flea bag of an apartment that I shared. I had a roommate.
And looking back, those were good times.
Son of a bitch, they were.
Told you. I lived with 4 other guys in a 2-bedroom apartment. And we were only supposed to have 3 or 4 total people. So whenever we had to have repairs.
Yeah, but that wasn't because you couldn't afford it. Hey-o.
We double bunked. We had to. We picked up my bed every time we had to have repairs done and stuck it in the bathroom. So shut the door and then put dark room, do not enter.
Nice.
So they wouldn't see that there were like 4 or 5 of us living there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford car insurance at the time, health insurance at the time. We had to steal toilet tissue from the station bathroom.
Mm-hmm. See?
My buddy Don and I, those were good days.
They were great times.
Then he wised up, went back to school, and now he helps. He works at a prestigious college placing kids.
You should have married him. You would have been set for life right now.
Straight. Damn it.
So, steel barrier saddle tramp Doc Thompson's wife's clothing business is doing so well because she has ready-made for half Asian sweatshop workforce. That's true.
They might be Asians in America. It's made in America. I'm not saying they're made by Americans.
That's true. That's a good point.
Shouldn't that also be the qualifier when they do made in the USA or made in America?
By real Americans.
By Americans.
Mm-hmm. Or artisans, either way.
They never say that.
No.
It's made within the borders of these United States by illegals.
By 9-year-old Haitians.
Holy son of a biscuit eater.
Yeah.
Think about that.
There's ways to get around everything.
People get all pissed off if it's not made in America, and then the possibility that it's made by sweatshop workers, right?
Yeah.
Think about that. Left and right. People on the right, very conscious, prefer to buy American. Got it, right? Left and right go, ooh, it's made by 9-year-old Guatemalan boys or something like this in sweatshops for half a penny a day. We all know that's a problem. But the left is not concerned about illegals. We need to bring them out of the shadows. That's their biggest concern.
Right.
And by that, they're just trying to say amnesty. But you can screw them over all day long when they're mowing your lawns or cleaning your hotel rooms. They don't care about them then. We just need to go ahead and make them legal.
See? Now you're getting the hang of it.
Wow.
Stephen Airy is over in the MeWe chat room hanging out with the low-life
Doesn't he work here?
I think he does. We actually got into a little discussion on Friday night about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's hotness. Stephen says there's no such thing as retirement during biblical times all the way up until the late 1800s.
They were shepherds.
He thinks he's so smart.
That's a reason you didn't have to retire. You're standing there.
Look, I was there, and I'm telling you, people retired. All the way back up at 1800s.
What did they do? What were your jobs back then?
That's true. Well, in the late 1800s.
Did he say 1800s?
All the way to the late
biblical
1800s.
to start with.
During biblical, all the way to the late 1800s.
I'm talking biblical times. What was your job?
Yeah, like shepherd,
farmer,
dirt sweeper,
a
carpenter,
clergy.
You were there were carpenters.
Carpenters. A lot of work for yourself. They were their own business.
Right.
That's the reason they didn't retire. They were business people.
And you just hope that Jesus guy didn't come around flipping your tables over.
That's right.
You know, that guy got crazy sometimes.
I know. Cray. So what was your argument about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez?
He was saying she's not hot. There were several of us on the Facebook chat trying to tell him,
What
look,
is he talking about?
she's got the crazy eyes. That makes her not hot.
No,
See,
those are two separate arguments.
That's where Stephen is. He's young. That's where, you got to cut him a little bit of slack there because he didn't realize the crazy eyes, that means fun on a date.
Not fun to marry.
Right. Do not marry them.
But that doesn't matter about your hotness.
Right. Now, she's just hot.
I mean, you could have the crazy eyes that look like bug crazy eyes, something like that, and not be hot.
Yeah.
But I would say now, she's attractive. But in the little video dancing around, she's pretty damn hot.
Yeah, she is. Well, that was 10 years ago. But yeah, she still has.
So she's not aging well.
She's not. It's not horrible. I mean, she's.
Although 35 is the number,
That's the over-under.
That's the first step
That's
the ladies start showing it there.
The age, when they get over it, you don't want to get under it?
No. That's fine. I'm just saying that's when it all starts changing a little bit. And then you take another step, another 10 years or so down the road. It might be the same for guys too, ladies. I'm just saying that's... So she's not aging well.
And now Rocky with an eye is in there saying, sorry, Brad, AOC is not hot. You stop it right now. She is.
We're not saying we like her, and she's crazy.
Yes.
And by the way, even if she is hot, the second she goes blah blah blah, you're like, she's not hot. But if you were to just see the girl from the video dance into your life and go, hey, right?
Exactly. Even the sound down.
We'll let Ron Phillips decide.
Wow.
Ron Phillips, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, hot or not? What do you say, buddy?
Hot.
There it is.
That's all I'm saying.
He knows.
Yes, he does.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 50.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Teachers in the country's second largest public school district set to strike today. 30,000 Los Angeles teachers will man the picket lines. They want smaller classes and bigger paychecks. The teachers union complains the most recent offer by the LA Unified School District is woefully inadequate. It pummeled the Midwest before moving east and pounding the Atlantic coast. A big winter storm dumped lots of snow and ice, cutting power to almost 250,000 utility customers while snarling road and air traffic. It is a slower than usual morning commute in the nation's capital, although the federal government is closed in the storm's wake.
Temperatures are below freezing, and there's a lot of roads are snow-packed. Some of the major roads will be snow-packed. So it's probably going to be a slow commute until things can get plowed out. We start melting as temperatures get above freezing later this morning into this afternoon.
National Weather Service meteorologist Jim Hayes, a storm blamed for at least a half dozen deaths. The current partial government shutdown now in its fourth week, the longest shutdown ever.
9 of the 15 cabinet-level departments have not been funded since late December, and many national park facilities remain closed, including the Smithsonian Museums and the National Zoo here in Washington. Nearly everyone at NASA is being told to stay home, as are most at the Internal Revenue Service. However, the administration says it will issue tax refunds during the shutdown.
That's White House correspondent Greg Clugston. The man accused of kidnapping Wisconsin teenager Jamie Kloss after killing her parents, due in court later today. 21-year-old Jake Patterson to be charged with 2 counts of intentional homicide and 1 count of kidnapping. Wall Street this morning, stock futures deep in the red. Dow futures down about 181 points. S&P futures off 20 points. And NASDAQ futures down 68. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us, our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com, use promo code DUCK, and get 15% off your purchase. That's neverforgottenapparel.com. There's a better way to meet people without having to suffer through all the crazies. Weed out all the nutty people with wethepeople.dating. That's wethepeople.dating. It's easy to find a liberty-minded match, and it takes less than a minute to create a free account and begin browsing through over 11 million monthly subscribers. Look, we all know the success of a relationship hinges on the core shared values of a couple. So check out wethepeople.dating. Sign up and start dating today. Wethepeople.dating. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of a partner.
This is David Barton with another moment from America's history. What is the purpose of government? Founding Father Oliver Ellsworth believed he knew. Oliver Ellsworth was a delegate at the convention which formed the Constitution, and later he became the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court. Concerning the purpose of government, Oliver Ellsworth declared, "The primary objects of government are the peace, order, and prosperity of society." Yet how were these goals to be achieved? Ellsworth explained, "To the promotion of these objects, good morals are essential. Institutions for the promotion of good morals are therefore objects of legislative provision and support, and among these, religious institutions are eminently useful and important." Founding Father Oliver Ellsworth believed government could never reach its goals apart from the help of religious institutions.
For more information on God's hand in American history, contact Wall Builders at 1-800-8-REBUILD.
Very bright.
The mothership has landed.
It has landed.
That's what I've heard.
All right, you got comments and communiques.
Yes, Salting Duck says not only does AOC have the crazy eyes, she has giant horse teeth. On first look, she's hot. Upon examination and hearing her speak, she is less than hot. Yes! That's exactly. We're talking about the speechless version.
Yes, the muted version.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, come on.
Now, I understand. Listen, I get it. That stuff really taints somebody.
Yes, it does.
Right? Mm-hmm. She has a huge taint.
Mm-hmm. And it is her
blobbity, blobbity, blah.
Vocal cords.
Yes. And you remove those.
Yes.
Her hotness goes up exponentially.
Who decided to give vocal cords to women in the first place?
I know. That's a bad
We need
move.
to figure that one out. Blah, blah,
now,
blah.
Hang on. So here it is. Yes, you're all thinking of her hotness in total.
Right.
Of all she is.
Right.
If I consider that her blobbity blah, oh, it's horrible.
Takes it way down.
Horrible.
Takes it down.
Way down. But, I mean, seriously, a 1 out of 10, if you consider her blobbity blah, it's down 1.5, maybe.
I was going to say maybe 2 or 3.
Right. Because the reason you have to put her that high is because you get blobbity blah, the similar blobbity blah from Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yes,
so somebody's got to be below her.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's, but if you remove the blobbity blah or political whatever, and you just saw that video of that girl dancing, you got to put it up there. Now, the horse teeth and that, further investigation, yes, these things are. So you got a little thing going on with the nose. If you're really going to nitpick and all of this, sure. If you're going to nitpick and look at her nose.
But isn't beauty about finding those certain little, those
some. And her teeth are very horse esque. I'll give you that they were more prominent. Sure. Absolutely. But again, in the video, you got to go back to that, right?
Yes.
She's not aging well. I'm going to tell you right now.
But again, she's not for a woman who's, I mean, she's not old enough to be president, but for a woman who's starting to get up there.
She's 28.
She's almost 30.
That's not up there.
Yeah. Well, when you hit 30, it's all downhill.
She should, based on the video of college, where she's dancing around, her hotness now should still be much higher. There is a big difference between the college her and this her. Right?
Yeah,
am I
true.
wrong?
Although she did dance outside her little office there.
It's not about the dancing. It's about how she looked in it.
She's still kind of got that playful thing.
Okay, I'll give you that or whatever.
Sense.
So the science is settled. I don't want to hear any more about it. The science, 97% of men, and by that I mean scientists, agree she's hot.
Now,
you're on the losing side of history on this one if you're saying no. Stephen Airy, on the losing side of history. What the hell does he defend on that show anyways?
That's a good question.
If he's not defending that.
I know.
What's he on? 9 o'clock Eastern time?
And now they're is it 9 Eastern? Yeah, 9 o'clock p.m.
9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Stephen Airy. Let's hear him defend that.
I don't know who that is. Romney Clement, or is it Ronnie Clement over on the MeWe chat book or MeWe chat room. But who's that picture of? Is that,
I don't know.
Is that Ginsburg?
No.
At a much younger age?
No, that's not her, is it?
I don't know
who it is.
Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, after 12 years in government.
I don't know.
She's gonna look a little worn
Didn't
out.
you say the Bob Blah Blah? By the way, I love the Bob Blah Blah. Didn't you say he had a comment that you wanted to share?
Yeah, it was probably sucky. No, here it is. When the AOC's on the rooftop, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot.
All right, all right, let's just perhaps do this.
We've scoured news platforms and agencies around the globe for today's most profound news headlines. Presenting them now, here's Brad Staggs.
What's up, jackholes? Here are your headlines. This first portion brought to you by a generous grant of dirty money from Patriot Mobile. Don't let the commie bastards take over our great country. Get a great Patriot Mobile account today at patriotmobile.com/doc. You done yet?
I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm listening.
Government shutdown. Apparently it's day 23.
It's around there.
My count must have been off. Go figure. The closure is now in record-setting territory. It broke a decades-old record by shut down government back in Bill Clinton's days. It only lasted 21.
We are in record government shutdown territory.
Yes, we are.
It has not affected me at all. Now, I'm admitting, maybe there's something that is delayed. Government's delayed quite often that is affecting me that I don't know. That a month from now, I'm going to go, son of a bitch, what happened? And they're like, well, that was that shutdown. Maybe it is. But it has not affected me at all.
Yeah, no. There's still...
Have you noticed anything?
Nope, not a thing. I'm good.
All right,
The federal workers, of course, have missed their first paycheck on Friday.
Again, how has this affected me?
800,000 federal workers didn't receive paychecks. Some resorted to selling their possessions or posting appeals on online fundraising sites to help pay their bills. Miami International is closing one of its terminals early over the next several days due to a shortage of TSA workers. Now, all right, let's talk about that. The TSA workers are supposed to be committed to preserving our safety, right?
Okay.
Unless it comes down to a price. So the price for our safety is a paycheck. So are they really concerned about us?
Wow. No, they're not. We've known that forever.
A union that represents thousands of air traffic controllers sued the FAA on Friday, saying it had violated federal wage law by failing to pay workers. It is at least the third lawsuit filed on behalf of unions, on behalf of unpaid workers. Now, and we remind you, Congress can at any time vote to give the air traffic controllers their pay.
Right. They're keeping their own pays coming in.
Congress is getting paid, so... this is not something that can't be fixed by a simple stroke of the pen. And the head of the U.S. Secret Service, which is responsible for protecting the president, has warned employees that financial stress... You ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready? You might want to sit down because this is a little shocking.
I'm ready. I'm prepared.
They have warned employees that financial stress can lead to depression and anxiety.
What?
I know.
What?
It's like when I read that, I was like, wow, these guys, they're Harvard graduates, obviously.
Whoa.
Keep an eye out for warning signs of trouble.
Huh.
Director R.D. Tex Ailes wrote in his memo.
So that's the reason my wife removed all the razor blades and knives from the house.
And all the scissors.
I locked up the medicine cabinet. Okay.
You've not been running with scissors, have you?
No.
Okay. Not overdosing on medications, anything like that.
She's locked the garage doors in the upright position.
Why upright? Just so you won't. Oh, I see. You couldn't do that anyway anymore. That doesn't even work. You could suck on a tailpipe all day long, pretty much. Who hasn't enjoyed sucking on a good tailpipe? Some sad news from across the pond. A 102-year-old man got stuck on a roof and died of a cold. I don't know why. It's horrible news.
No, you know why?
It's horrible.
Because of the joke. The joke.
Which one?
I've told it this happened when my dad died.
I never listened to you. What are you?
The short version is the guy who goes on vacation and his buddy's watching his cat that he loves so much. Right. And he calls up and he goes, hey, how's the cat doing? He goes, your cat's dead, man. No, what? Why would you just blurt that out? And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, it's I'm so upset. He goes, you got to start off by saying, hey, the cat's stuck on the roof. We're trying to get it down. A couple days later, we got it down, but it's sick. And you still eventually died. You ease me into it. He goes, oh, that's horrible. He goes, by the way, your mom's on the roof. I told her when my dad died, I called my sister up. He was home on hospice. It was any time.
Right.
And I didn't get through to her. She's there with my brother.
Right.
And she calls me up. Dad's dead. And he goes, tell him Dad's on the roof. And she said, Dad's on the roof. I don't know. And he goes, don't tell him that. I go, my dad would have so loved that moment. So the 2-year-old man is stuck on the roof.
You have to find the humor in everything. And apparently we have some oral fixations in the headlines. A Florida man chewed up the backseat of a police car after he was arrested for cocaine.
That's not an oral fixation. He was just out of his gourd.
He was arrested Thursday night after more than 40 grams of cocaine were found in his possession during a traffic stop. But then...
What's going on, officer? What's going on? What did you stop me for? Huh, sir? Something going on, officer?
I didn't think cocaine gave you the munchies.
No, it didn't. He was just busy. Wait, he chewed up like the foam padding?
Yeah, he...
what the hell?
That's a good question.
No, I'm saying, how does he have a cop car where there is that? The cop cars I've heard of have like fiberglass back seats.
Right.
And it's really uncomfortable to a guy who's 6'4" with his handcuffs, with his hands cuffed behind his back.
That would be the theory.
Is what I've heard.
Right. I don't know. This guy apparently had he was also charged.
Kids have it so soft today.
Melvin Stubbs of Homestead was charged with cocaine trafficking, resisting arrest, and property damage for chewing up and or eating a sheriff's patrol car seat after he was taken.
Your Honor, I was not trafficking that cocaine. I was going to snort it all myself.
That was for me.
That was for my home use. Yes, it was a lot. But who's to say what a lot is?
Right.
That's relative, isn't it?
Now the government's trying to tell me how much cocaine I can or cannot take. You know what?
Is that a challenge, Your Honor?
That's over. Try the cocaine challenge on YouTube. Not only will you not drive your car, you'll outrun it doing 70 miles an hour. Oh, and it gets better. He tried to run away, which surprisingly he didn't. He was tasered by one of the officers.
Don't tase me, bro.
And then he ate the back seat.
I love the don't tase me, bro, where the guy's there. He's down and watching them like pull out the taser. I'm down. Don't do it. Don't tase me, bro.
I'm not doing anything.
By the way, when you say cocaine now, that just sounds old.
It does.
Cocaine's not even like a thing, is it?
If you're not doing hillbilly heroin now, you are so last year.
I mean, like even meth is like.
What's the hot drug now?
Well, crocodile's come and gone. That was the last crocodile.
The hell's that?
That's the stuff that like ate your flesh away.
What?
Okay.
And that was a drug that you took recreationally?
Yeah.
Crocodile.
Yeah, I think it's crocodile. Here's what I would say. If I get the name right, and I'll look it up here for you, do not Google it. Do not Google blue waffle. Do not Google crocodile.
Okay. Is it you don't shoot it up, you ingest?
Let me this is it.
Huh?
No, I'm just looking up crocodile.
Just
oh, there it is. There's the pictures of what happens when you're on it.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh, do not. Holy.
It's croc, Krokodil.
And that's a drug that you take? And then it does that. Oh. That's horrible.
It's like you poured battery acid on your arm or leg.
Oh. She's smiling. And wow, that is awful. Okay, that's enough. Wow. You give it an arm and a leg to that must be one hell of a high, is all I can say. One hell of a high. That's got to be good. In Berwick, Pennsylvania, an attorney for a Pennsylvania woman charged with drunk driving hinted at his client's coat chewing could have thrown off the results of her breath test.
What?
Yeah, she got pulled over, and she started nibbling on her coat before they gave her the breath test. And the lawyer asked the officer if he happened to know the chemical composition of the coat, noting that certain substances in said coat could alter the results of the test. She had a blood alcohol level of 0.15.
Did it work?
The judge ruled there was enough evidence to send the charges to trial. So it was a nice attempt. However, it didn't quite meet the standard. That is just. Other than that, she's kind of hot. If your phone's GPS tracks itself going over 1,200 miles an hour at an altitude higher than 60,000 feet, you know what happens?
No.
It is legally required to deactivate the tracking. You know why?
Why?
Because it probably means it's being used to guide an intercontinental ballistic missile.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild? So do not attempt to strap your phone as a guidance device to an ICBM. Now, your phone may not be guiding an ICBM, but it may be funding some dubious causes if you're dealing with AT&T or any of the big boys of mobile.
Yeah.
Some of the money could be headed straight to, like, Planned Parenthood.
How do you pronounce that, by the way? Is it Unidos US?
Unidos
US. Anyways, it's an organization you are probably familiar with and don't even realize it.
Uh-oh.
That
Hookers and
AT&T
Blow?
is going to fund.
Oh.
No, it used to be called La Raza.
Oh, they changed their name.
They did.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember Acorn went away and then went, they disbanded.
Now they're called Walnut.
They're just a bunch of different names. Anyway, La Raza rebranded themselves, and it's UNIDOS.
Unidos
US.
Unidos. One, the one. Unidos.
US.
No, 1, 2, US.
But it's US for, I'm guessing, United States. Anyways, La Raza is called the race, and it is a racist group. That's what they do. It's a progressive, I'm being redundant here, racist group.
At least they told you what they were right there in front.
Absolutely. Now they're trying to hide it and clean up their image or whatever and do this stuff. They are funded, it looks like, at least in part, by AT&T, Pepsi, Walmart, a bunch of these different companies. Now, some of them may be doing it for the price of doing business.
Right.
Walmart has to shut them up and maybe they balance it out. Pepsi, AT&T, all of these, some of that is true. Look it up for yourself. I tweeted this morning a link to a story where you can do it. But, there are companies that don't fund them at all, like Patriot Mobile.
And that's why it's a good idea to get your account with Patriot Mobile, because then every month a portion of what you pay them goes to fund good conservatarian causes.
Well, the first step is it's not funding nonsense like this.
Exactly.
Now, listen, I'm not going to call for a boycott of any of those companies. I call for a boycott of AT&T just because they suck.
Right.
It's not even a boycott. Just do yourself a favor and don't be with AT&T. Possibly the worst customer service on the planet. I mean, even the North Korean government has better customer service than. At least you get your ruling quickly.
Damn.
Right?
Those AT&T people are mean.
They are horrible. I'm not calling for a boycott. I don't do that.
Right.
You want to use them? Use them. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that want them funding this stuff. The leftists.
Sure.
If you don't, vote with your dollars. It's not so much about avoiding AT&T and Pepsi and Walmart of those as it is about supporting the companies that you agree with, like Patriot Mobile.
Here's the thing. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. How do you like that one?
I like it.
Put that on a bumper sticker.
Patriot Mobile does a lot of good in the world. First of all, by not doing bad with the money that they take in from you. And then second of all, using a little bit of the profits to support conservative causes and organizations and candidates. It's becoming more and more important as there's more companies that are using their profits to support candidates that you don't agree with for you to get in the right group of people. So please support Patriot Mobile today by going to patriotmobile.com/doc. That's patriotmobile.com/doc. They have great coverage, and you're probably going to save money on top of it. It's patriotmobile.com/doc. Please switch today.
And it's time for Doc's Choice. Movie Pass, Death Watch, or Prostitutes? Which story?
Prostitute.
Prostitutes. Commander of a U.S. nuclear submarine has been demoted for hiring 10 Filipina prostitutes as accompaniment.
Wait, what was that first part?
A commander of a U.S. nuclear sub. He is a nuclear submarine commander. He's been relieved of duty after he hired a gaggle of provocatively dressed females to entertain himself and his sailors while being stationed in the Philippines. Captain Travis Zettel was relieved of duty last August for inappropriate personal conduct after allegedly ordering 10 girls to his hotel room while his submarine was ported in Subic Bay.
Nothing like having your submarine ported in Subic Bay, I'll tell you.
Subic was not available for comment. Subic or Subic.
Subic, either one. Both of those bays.
After the escorts arrived, the commander was witnessed enjoying the company of at least 3 local females. They were seen holding Zettel by his arms as he wandered around greeting his fellow seamen. at the hotel last year. Following the scandal, he was relieved of his command and reassigned to another position within the submarine squadron. Other sailors subject to the probe were not reprimanded. So you're saying it's wrong to hire the escorts?
Couldn't he just argue he was supporting the local economy?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, please. What else? What else? If I say Filipino business in the Philippines, go.
Sex.
Right.
That's it.
I mean, the only one that outdoes them when it comes to word association business is Thailand.
Yes. And yeah, I think Thailand's more the gay lifestyle. Isn't it?
Oh no.
Gay and kids.
Everything.
Oh, is it really?
Oh, what do you like?
Even that one thing with the little finger?
It doesn't. Okay, I want you for a moment to think of the freakiest sexual. Got it? Yeah. Thailand. It's available.
Even feet.
That's there.
Ah! Freaks.
Feet that have been on crocodile feet. It's there,
nasty.
Thailand.
Ugh. Let's just move on.
You go and you're like, anyway, the ladies, the lady boys, the men, the girls. What do you like there? Oh, other. Okay, gotcha.
What did they expect? You send a nuclear submarine full of seamen there to the bay in where the hell was it?
They're going to hook up with the local Me Love You
Why
Long Time.
Wouldn't they?
Of course.
I mean, that's what you do there. Kylie Jenner has lost her Instagram record for the most likes to an egg. A photo of an egg is topped the previous Instagram record set by Jenner, who she held the record for the most liked Instagram post of all time with a photo of her new daughter, Stormy. But the egg now has, and it's just a picture of an egg. It is, let's see here.
Is it a good-looking egg? Is it a colored egg?
Hey, let's not use that.
Like, why? Language. What was it with a message with it?
It is a picture of an egg.
Why did so many people like it? Did it just become a thing?
It's set out to become, wow, it has 3.1 million likes. Wow. That's set out to be the most liked picture. The Instagram account is called The Egg Gang. It's behind the movement. It was opened January 4th with a mission to become the most liked post on Instagram. And it
So
worked.
they just admitted that.
It's an egg, yes.
Good for them.
And it's worked. Just an egg.
It's a good-looking egg.
It is. Of all the eggs I've seen, this is a
that's one of them.
Mm-hmm. Coming up, it's their last concert. But first, did you know all calories are not equal?
I do now.
Measure of energy, just that's what a calorie is. But people think that if you just count calories, like if I eat a bag of M&Ms, it's 230 calories. The thing is, different foods go through different metabolic pathways in your body. They have different effects on hunger and the hormones that regulate body weight. A protein calorie is not the same as a fat or a carb calorie. If you replace carbs and fat with protein, it can boost your metabolism, reduce appetite and cravings, and optimize the function of some weight-regulating hormones. And there's something else you can do.
You can try Riduzone, first of all, and I had a problem over the weekend. I forgot my bottle of Riduzone at work. So when I commuted home, I gorged myself. The stress of everything else and not having the Riduzone to take in.
Well, that's because of the government shutdown.
Well, the ladies drinking wine out of the Pringles can is like, my God, that guy's eating a lot. It was like that. Thank God for the Riduzone. It shaves off that extra little craving.
Yeah.
And also boosts your metabolism because I have got to drop some pounds.
It's the extra boost. If your head is in the right place, if you are ready to lose weight, I mean, there's no such thing as a miracle drug. Nothing is. You're not going to take a pill and then go eat a bunch of ding-dongs and lose weight.
So if I am not down back to a reasonable fighting weight within, let's say, 60, 75 days or so,
then you'll do the out-of-car driving challenge thing?
No, you should call me out on it and seriously question me on it because, I am serious about this as of today. So I'd say, I don't know, mid-March. Something like that. No,
here's what you want. You need to make sure that you lose a small amount consistently.
Well, that would be. I don't.
If you don't want to go up and straight.
No, because I don't have to lose. I don't have to lose 50 pounds.
Right.
Like, I don't know, 15, 20 or whatever. Get back down to reasonable, and I should be there. That'll be plenty. So the Riduzone. Try it today if you haven't tried it. Riduzone.com. Bottom line, it works. Riduzone.com.
Even on your bottom. It's Monday, January 14th, 2019. The year of our Lord. LL Cool J is 50 years old today. Jason Bateman is 49. Benedict Arnold would be 278 if he were alive today. And Camille Jansen is 18.
Who?
Camille Jansen. Seriously? Instagram star Camille Jansen is, what is, Hey, young minds, fresh ideas. In 1942, I'll just tell you what he did. It was the Japanese-American internment, thanks to Roosevelt. He signed, it was...
Locking them all up.
Yeah, proclamation number 2537. Actually, no, this was just requiring the aliens from World War II enemy countries, Italy, Germany, and Japan to register.
What could go wrong with that?
Yeah.
No, listen. We're not confiscating you people.
No.
We just want you to register.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
register.
Yes.
How is it that these leftists get away with ignoring all of that stuff and then somehow turn it back? Well, you're just a racist.
Right.
What are you talking? I don't support any of that. But you say these racist things, so you're just like, no, it was progressives, not just Democrats who did that. It was progressives. FDR was one of the biggest progressives.
At least they were issued a certificate of identification for aliens of enemy nationality certificate.
That is a progressive idea. You may think it's not, but it is. It all comes down to big government and control. Douchebags.
They cannot figure that out. That's the same thing they're doing with guns. And in 1970, it was their very last concert at the Frontier Hotel in Las
Supremes.
Vegas.
Frontier in Las Vegas.
Diana
Ross and the
You
Supremes.
cheated.
Dude, I have a buddy who is a Motown historian.
Yeah, his name's Michael Pelka. And he
No, it's not. His name's Andy. He's a Motown historian, and trust me, I know everything there is to know about the Supremes when it comes to that. And I know about the whole thing and how that, guess what? They didn't even know that they were changing the name to Diana Ross and the Supremes. They just saw it on the marquee one night because she was getting some extra attention from Berry Gordy. Oh, trust me, I got it.
Worked out well for her.
Sidney Burns song, and Diana Ross, and Florence Ballard.
Is Congress going out of its way not to hire veterans to work on Capitol Hill? It sure seems like it, and here's why. Veterans comprise about 8% of the total population of Americans. Despite years of warnings from advocates who concluded that a lack of veterans in key political positions has left a deficit when it comes to critical military-based discussions, Congress has made no effort to close the gap by adding more veterans to its staff. According to recently released figures, only about 200 of the 13,000-plus congressional staff have military backgrounds, which equates to about 1.6% of the Capitol Hill workforce, not including elected officials. While most veteran hires are within the Defense Department and Veteran Affairs, as would be expected, the lack of veterans as congressional staffers presents a huge issue for veterans. Justin Brown, a Navy veteran who previously worked on the House Veterans Affairs Committee and founder of Hill Vets, a bipartisan networking group of Capitol Hill staffers with military experience, said about the benefits of having military experience, quote, "There's a fundamental lack of knowledge in Congress in regards to what these benefits mean and what it's like to serve in the military. We don't have that brain trust available." Brown continued, "As it is now, we have staff writing policy for veterans who have never set foot in a VA hospital. We're not suggesting that Capitol Hill should have upwards of 50% like the Defense Department, but the numbers should be higher than this." As usual, it would appear that Congress is good at talking the talk when it comes to improving the lives of veterans, but not good at walking the walk when it comes to allowing veterans to have more of a say in what should be done. And that's today's reality check with Susan Knowles.
Universal truth number 14. Pain sucks. If you haven't yet tried Relief Factor, what are you waiting for? Go to ReliefFactor.com, get their 3-week quick start pack for just $20 and see if it helps your chronic pain. ReliefFactor.com.
Say what you want to say about Cortez. She's not unattractive. Whoopi Goldberg, ugly as dirt. She one ugly woman. She ugly. Whoopi is jealous.
Making radio great again. The Cartel with Nat and Ron. This morning at 11. MoJo 50.
The over and under has been set at 25, the number of Democrats. Realistically, I mean, people have a shot at actually doing this, not just some guy in his mom's basement. Oh, I'm president, I'm a progressive. 25, the number of Democrats that will officially run for the nomination in 2020. Matlock popping in now. Over, under 25.
Over.
You're taking the over.
Wow. Oh, yes.
It's not even close.
No.
You're not even on the fence.
No, it might be 35. The over might be 35.
Now, the one thing I will give you, give some credit to what you're saying is some of the oddest people, well, some of the least qualified by traditional standards. Trump has empowered people. He had no public service. So people that normally...
yeah, it's a free-for-all.
Like the mayor of South Bend.
Pete Buttigieg.
Right.
He's in.
Right, he's already announced.
Well, I fill in at MNC in South Bend. I talk to the guy that does the day drive there all the time, Casey Hendricks, and Buttigieg's in. But I've got inside sources, brothers.
See, in the past, though, a guy like that would want to run, but go, I'm just the mayor of South Bend.
Doesn't matter. It no longer matters.
It doesn't matter, or they think it doesn't matter. I think it matters more than they realize it matters. The only way it doesn't matter is if you have a huge groundswell of support and notoriety. No one knows who Pete Buttigieg is.
But you know, the funny thing is, I'm going to talk
His
about...
mama does, and that's all that matters.
I'm going to talk about today. I was sitting...
Kanye could run and beat him.
I had a terrible cold yesterday, so I just laid on the couch, just researching, doing my, who's going to run for the Democratic Party stuff. But I'm going to tell you, there are articles out there now. It does not matter as long as you have a social media following. That's the rule today. The Axios was all over it. I'm going to talk about it today.
No, you have to have the following, but you have to have name recognition as well. You have to have the two things. Trump was known worldwide.
Oh, yeah, Kanye, he had a brand.
Now, you say Kanye's running. I say that's ridiculous, but he could do it. It doesn't matter then.
Oh, yeah, Kardashian could do it and get away with it.
The mayor of South Bend, the mayor of Akron, the mayor of
is running.
North Bend.
They're all running. The mayor of everywhere is running.
I mean, if you just pick places like that, the mayor of Lansing, you're not going to become president.
The mayor of Lansing is a chick, by the way.
Unless you are Kanye West, unless you know.
Okay, but again, that's almost you're almost with conventional thinking now. Trump changed all the rules.
He did.
It could be the guy in his basement.
He did.
It could be if you have name recognition. And it's not like you had to have 30 years of name recognition, but you have to have it now. And it can't simply be 1 million followers on Instagram. It's not enough for you.
Well, that's what Axios says it is.
No, it's not.
Axios says that's now the bar that has been set, because it's so funny. We've talked about this. I can't tell you the number of articles I read over this weekend that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez needs to run. It is crazy. I mean, they are pushing her so hard to get her name out there. And Axios, that's what I'm talking about, this article. You know Ocasio-Cortez, she is number 2 behind Trump in social media influence.
Wow. Right. Now, influence, you're right.
Number 2. Yeah, I like that, by the way.
The part that the argument you're making, or they're making, they're absolutely right about that. That
they're
you
not
have
wrong.
to have that.
Right.
But, like I'm saying, you are not going to be the mayor unless you have that level of notoriety. It's not.
Doc Thompson is stuck in that Georgia Southern clothing of the 40s. He's stuck in his thinking.
No.
Brad Staggs.
They are right. It has changed.
He's stuck in the mud.
But it wasn't that Trump had a huge social media following. He does.
And he does.
He did.
And he did.
It's that he had more. He did change things. It's just not enough brand recognition.
Trump was known everywhere throughout the world as buildings. I mean, he's been in politics enough. But I'll tell you, over the weekend, Tulsi Gabbard throws her hat in the ring.
Well,
Julian Castro.
To make the point, who has the largest social media following? Isn't it PewDiePie has the largest on
YouTube?
You
might be right. PewDiePie. I think it's PewDiePie.
It's not PewDiePie.
PewDiePie.
Good grief, Grandpas.
I know.
Could he be elected?
Yes.
No.
If he were old enough.
He's
not 35. PewDiePie is
He's got to be close, isn't he? Isn't he like
the dude's like 20.
Is he that young?
Ron Phillips is the master.
I thought
of
he got to lead.
He has a daughter that follows this guy.
I thought he got to
How
be
old
like
is PewDiePie?
Ballpark.
Look at Google PewDiePie.
The #1 Instagram account has 109 million followers, and that's Enajota. So Enajota could theoretically win with that.
Is that a he or a she, first off?
Does it matter? And why do you have to be so genderist?
Why? And are they old enough to run for president?
Does it matter anymore either?
Probably not.
Let me run down the list. So you mentioned Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Which
everybody's got a big old boner. Or Hawaii. She's the junior. I think she's the junior senator of Hawaii.
Well, and she
isn't Hirano or Maisie Hirano. Isn't she the senior?
Yeah.
I think
so. Gabbard, though, is more conservative or more moderate on some things.
Yeah, what I was reading this weekend, everybody's like, "Oh, she's gonna put down the left and the neocons on the right, and she's perfect, and it's gonna be tough." And I'm like, not so much.
She has a better shot than many people. What's that, Ron?
Agree. PewDiePie is 29.
I was gonna say,
I told you he's about 30. I didn't think he was old.
I knew he wasn't old enough. All right.
So she would be. She has a better shot than Julian Castro.
Yes, and on the
on
the hot scale, she's probably hotter than AOC.
Tulsi Gabbard. Pictures.
You'd have to, but she's a good looking lady.
So Tulsi Gabbard throws her hat in there. speaking of the Castro brothers, Julian Castro announced that he's running
Raul
for president.
Yeah,
he's it doesn't matter. They're interchangeable. They're twins, and nobody knows. They're both in politics. Fine. This was the one that was in the Obama administration as director of HUD.
Yes,
and I said it back then, and everybody knew it. They were grooming these kids because they're brown and good looking. Let's put them up there, and they'll be the future of the party, and they toe the party line. We knew what was going on there.
Well, and I sent you an article this weekend. Kamala Harris stole your idea.
So wait a minute. So we have Tulsi Gabbard.
Yep.
Castro, those are the two.
Yep.
Pete Buttigieg, we mentioned. Elizabeth Warren, 4. And then Kamala Harris, not officially announced yet.
But go on.
But everybody behind the scenes said she's going to announce. And when is she going to announce?
Martin Luther King Day.
Now, I knew one of them would. I really thought it'd be Cory Booker.
Booker is right now.
I know he's like that.
He's like
bitch.
that.
How dare she?
How dare she? She stole. But you were saying it this morning.
Didn't I say that Cory would do it, though?
You did. And the funny thing about this, Elizabeth Warren really put this thing into overdrive.
She did.
Because now they're all like, son of a bitch.
We got to come out
now
sooner.
We got to get out there. We got to get out swinging. It's going to, and now we're going to watch 2 years of Democrat politicking.
You know who's announcing tomorrow?
God, it's gold. Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
No.
Ginsburg.
Biden.
Joe Biden announces tomorrow.
Has to.
Why is he announcing? Is it speculation, or did he announce he's announcing?
He's told in private gatherings with Democrats, donors, that he is definitely running, and supposedly he set the date for January 15th now. And I think he had to move that up because of Elizabeth Warren.
Well, exactly.
He wanted to play that game.
Well, but you said it here. You're right, and it is a game now, but the first debate is June or July of this year.
Yeah.
So now it's like, you've got to get out there.
Right.
I mean, you've got to be out there. You got to be seen.
And nothing says young minds, fresh ideas like Joe Biden,
who will be almost 80 if sworn in.
But the really sad thing is, I was listening to, who was I listening to the other day? I think it was Jeremy Hansen Unleashed, but he was saying the same thing about this stuff. The sad thing is, it's going to be an old, crusty white guy. Or an old, crusty white woman.
I don't know.
It's going to be infighting among, I think so.
Well, and here's the reason, Brad. I think he's right. There are a variety of people. Most of them are white guys that we believe is going to run.
Yep.
Right. Of those that are not, let's say half are not old white guys. Mm-hmm. Most of the other half have no shot at getting this.
Right.
So we'll run down the list. Right. So Mayor Bloomberg has promised he will make a decision within a month or so.
He's running.
And he will run. He will run as a Democrat.
Yep.
So he's up there. De Blasio has not ruled it out, which means he's going to.
Have you seen his train wreck? He literally came out. Oh my God! He came out over the weekend and said, "There is." Let me.
So first of all, they asked him about the is he running or not, and this is on with Jake Tapper over the weekend.
For Cuba,
President Jake, I'm focused on the job I have, but I've also been really clear. I'm going to spread this message because this should be the idea of the Democratic Party at this point.
But are you considering running for president?
I'm focused on my job, but listen. Right now, our party is going.
By the way, what happened with his speech pattern? He's speaking from his canine tooth now. So. He's speaking out of the corner of his mouth like he's got a dental problem. He's right there.
Maybe he's talking about a cigar. Do you have
right,
a cigar in his mouth?
Right here.
To a serious debate. And there's still a lot of moderate voices in the party that did not learn the lessons of 2016 and are not listening to what people need in this country. So I want to push this whole party, and I want to inform this debate in this country about the fact that we could go a lot farther. We could be a lot bolder than what we're doing now.
So you ruling it out?
I never rule things out because you never know what life brings. But I'm focused.
He'll never rule it out because you never know what life brings. Mm-hmm. He doesn't rule anything out.
Right.
He's running.
Senator,
we've
got a bunch of guys here who want to gangbang you.
I never rule anything.
You never rule it out because you never know what life will bring, right?
I never know. I might like them with Vaseline or without.
Senator, would you consider running under the communist banner?
I never rule anything.
There it is.
Well, because you never know what life is going to bring.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he did say a bunch of other crazy things, just as a little update. Listen to this.
Radical this week that I want to ask you about. You said, quote, there's plenty of money in the world. There's plenty of money in the city. It's just in the wrong hands.
Yep.
Oh, those hard work, son of a gun. You didn't work. You didn't. Those people that worked hard to make their money, they didn't do it right.
It's in the wrong hands.
It's in the wrong hands.
Right.
Quote.
I mean, that is a quote.
Who decides whose hands are the right hands and whose hands are the wrong hands?
I hope they decide their mind.
Holy cow, he asked a legit question.
Look at what's happening in my city. Look what's happening all over the country. Millions upon millions of people who literally can barely make ends meet. Working people who are working one job.
It's because of the taxes in New
working
York.
harder than ever, longer hours than ever. The pace of our lives gets tougher and tougher, and people get less and less back. Why? Because the 1% really has rigged the system, including the recent
1%.
tax law that gave a huge windfall to the corporations and the wealthy. This is systematic. I said in the speech, this has been an agenda from Reagan's administration right on through to Trump's.
Only Reagan's. Only Reagan's. Doesn't go back any
You
farther.
understand that de Blasio is a millionaire, right?
Oh, yeah.
De Blasio is a millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he's going to give up his money?
No.
I'm going to ask you a question. I covered this last week. What do you think the state tax rate in New York is?
That's a good question.
If it's
Is it
anything
tiered?
like a pack of cigarettes.
No, it's not tiered.
You're talking income tax rate.
I am talking state income tax in the state of New York. Because de Blasio came out and said, I'm going to give everybody in New York that's not insured insurance.
Right.
Which is $600,000. Doesn't matter if it's illegals or not. 9%.
Wow.
You want to know the state income tax of California? Gavin Newsom. Same thing.
It's
I'm going to
gotta
give
be
illegal. It's 13. And that's why when Trump came out and did the tax reform, the SALT, the state and local taxes that you can now, you used to be able in New York and California write those off on your federal tax forms.
You know, here's the thing.
It was federal welfare.
I think most of us realize, of course, that it would be nice if all, and believe it would be nice if all people could feed themselves basic needs. Most of us understand that. If you're a faith-based person, you get it. If their argument was, we're going to provide the basic necessities. Now, I don't agree with any of this. Let me preface that. I don't agree with that. I'm just going to make a point here, though. If they said everybody gets basic food, everybody gets basic medical, we all know the pitfalls with that if government runs it. But if they said that, and that's all they meant, and said beyond that, I, de Blasio, will keep my millions, and you'll keep anything above it, that's fine. But they will never do that. They always would, even if it was sustainable to have, you know, government funded or one payer, single payer government health care. And, you know, even if it was sustainable to give everybody food, which it's not the way they want to do it, they will never keep from going after more.
No.
FDR had a 100% proposal for a 100% tax rate over $25,000.
Yep.
And that wouldn't have stopped him. They would have lowered that or whatever.
That's Democrat policy.
So they're disingenuous about this, about it's in the wrong hands because people can't feed themselves.
Right. As soon as de Blasio gives up all of his money to New York, then we'll have a conversation.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's funny. These liberal, communist, Cuban dictators in New York about say, well, you know, the money's in the wrong hands. Well, is it in your hands? When it stops being in your hands, let's have a conversation.
So also, so we have Kamala Harris, the Castro, one of the Castro brothers. Joe Biden will announce tomorrow. Bill de Blasio and Bloomberg have said they will announce if they do in the next couple of months. They decide in the next couple of months, which they will. And Elizabeth Warren. Bernie is expected to announce soon as well. Hillary, we don't know.
Hold on a second. But have you noticed what the mainstream media is doing to Bernie?
He's done. He's done.
I think he is
They
done.
pushed him out.
They have been. I'm amazed. I saw it again over the weekend. His campaign, somebody was feeling up one of the interns.
Is that wrong?
Did she like it?
But they're using that. They don't care about that.
Isn't that
They're
weird,
using,
though, that's it's like that silver bullet has come out and said, well,
they won't
that Bernie Sanders, he wasn't paying attention.
He didn't do it.
I know, but
and
you're
he
now
apologized.
Guilty. You're guilty by association.
The only way you are in trouble, let's say, I mean, he had an organization with how many volunteers? Tens of thousands. It was huge.
Well, but who was it? Who was it that said, I can't remember the story, the CEO had to resign because of what was happening.
But that only, in my opinion, if you have an organization or a business with tens of thousands of people,
I don't disagree,
and somebody fondles somebody
in the mailroom
at that lower level,
Where's your mailroom exactly? Is it
right
above
here,
or below?
right here, it's right
in
here, right in this good spot, right there.
Well, that's kind of soft.
If they found that's not you, that's them.
Right.
If they do
Personal
it a couple of times and you
let it
believe you took care of it and whatever, fine. This has to be systematic, and you have to know about it and still allow it. Bernie didn't do this. He wasn't. He's not responsible for this.
I can't believe you're defending Bernie Sanders.
No, they are using this to take him down because they don't want him to run. Why don't they want him to run?
Because
old white guy.
Well, yes.
Well, but
you know, Biden's not.
But he's.
I don't think they want Joe. I don't think they want Joe to run either.
But think about what his platform is. You've got several other candidates that want to run on that Medicare for all, that I want to give you everything free, and you've hit it right on the head. He's an old, crusty white guy. Let's let this younger lady move in and take over your mantle because she's more aesthetically pleasing.
Absolutely. And
it's all about aesthetics.
But there's another part of this with Joe. And I was at the convention in Philadelphia, and I walked around with the great unmasked progressive masses out there in the little park across. So, I mean, I was on the front line. I talked to a lot of people. I get what they were thinking with Bernie, too. To Bernie's credit, Bernie is far less of a hypocrite than the other people within the party.
Well, he's a hypocrite.
He is
far
definitely,
less, right.
but far less. Yeah. When you look at what Bernie has made versus what Bernie has, he's still the rich guy. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, he's 1%.
But he's not the Hillary and Bill.
Oh, no.
He's not the de Blasio.
No,
he's not the Bloomberg.
No.
He's not these cats that are telling you
He
those
actually
things.
may believe what he says.
Bernie is more of a true believer than these other guys. And they know that. So he's going to be harder to control.
Well,
and you know what that means? As he implements his true
socialist plan.
Right. He doesn't give as much of a pass to the Clinton Foundation. Okay, you can hide money there.
Well,
he won't. He'll be the one that will hold de Blasio more accountable than the others.
And the thing is that they're scared
They're
about.
afraid of it.
The left is afraid of him because they know that he beat Hillary. They know that it took her rigging the DNC. They know what she did to get the nomination. If he runs again, he wins. Because all of the field the burns, they're pissed. They're going to come out in droves, all these young kids, these millennials, because they want free everything. They're drowning in debt, their educational debt. They think he is the answer, and he can win. That's why they don't want him. And that's why the media is going after him as hard as they can.
I've got about 26 people on my list that I think are legitimately going to run, and then a bunch of questions. Okay, most of the questions are kind of far-reaching, but so here's who else on my list. Hillary, I do believe she will run.
She will run.
I will believe she will not make it to the debates.
It'll be a colossal failure.
And she will not withdraw. She will just disappear.
Well, her time is come and gone. I mean, she has her effectiveness is now gone. You've seen it with her tour with her and her husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she doesn't got the pizzazz she had. She's old, and now we've got younger women, Tulsi Gabbard, Kamala Harris, both of color, by the way, who are going to run against her. You got Elizabeth Warren, who really is Hillary Clinton. So, I mean, in the end, she's just one more person in the pond.
I believe Cory Booker is running, and since Kamala Harris stole his thunder about MLK Day, I believe he is going to announce sometime
on Indigenous Day.
No. Oh, February.
Black History Month.
There it is.
You're kidding me. So he wouldn't be that transparent.
Oh, absolutely. And he'll lead.
When's MLK Day?
21st. The 21st. Yeah,
a week from today.
Of January.
Yeah,
week
right.
from today.
Right.
We all have
and
that
then
day
Black
off.
History Month. Yeah, I mean, starts February. Okay.
Right. So I think he'll announce just before it, or maybe the first is on a Friday, so that kind of buries it a little bit. He could do on the 31st, Thursday,
or the 4th,
or he'll do the 4th, which is a Monday.
Right.
So he could do something like that. But I think he'll wrap himself in it. He's got the whole month. Then if he misses the beginning to say, on this Black History Month, I will blah, 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 blah.
Do we know if he's 100% African American? He's not Oreoed. He's not an Oreo like,
I don't know,
like Obama, right? White and black.
Oreoed is a verb.
He's not Oreoed.
So he'll announce. Others on my list that I think will likely run: Kirsten Gillibrand, Amy Klobuchar, Andrew Cuomo, governor of New York, Terry McAuliffe, I believe he's in, Joe Kennedy, one of the reps that I think.
Oh yeah, he's
one
pretty
of the
boy,
congressmen.
Camelot. There you go.
He is
got the name.
He is so angry, wants to run
Well,
and
but
make
he's got
a
the
point.
name. He's got the name and the history.
Eric, what's the former or the mayor of Los Angeles, Garcetti? What's his name?
Eric Garcetti.
Garcetti. I think he's going to run. He's one of the mayors that's going to run.
The former mayor of where?
No, he's the current mayor of Los Angeles, but the former mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu.
Yes. Yes.
Why?
Yes.
It's his family business. That's what they do. His sister was senator.
Yep.
Right? Ended up losing.
And you haven't even mentioned Swalwell yet. Out in California. Eric Swalwell. He's running.
He's a rep that's likely running.
Yep.
Pete Buttigieg from South Bend, Indiana. I believe Charlie Crist is either going to run. If he does not run,
he'll be somebody's running mate.
There is a good chance that they're going to dust him off for that. I believe Hickenlooper could run for Colorado. Ted Lieu, Swalwell, as you mentioned.
I don't know about Ted Lieu. Ted Lieu likes to be out where he's at, I'm sure. Ted Lieu would be iffy for me.
I believe he could. If not, he's a good contender for a running mate because the guy be Asian. Where's your Asian representation?
God. listen to. I mean, but you're not wrong. That's
Beto
the sad
is
thing.
going to announce within the next.
I was going to say, you haven't even brought up his name yet.
I believe he's going to be delayed, and here's why. He doesn't have that groundswell yet because they've all kind of trumped him here, right? Coming out early. So I think he waits a little bit to build some groundswell and then makes the official announcement. Everybody just gets wet their pants.
Well,
right?
I heard, I don't remember who was saying this the other day. I was listening to this about Francis here. And you remember all the money that he brought in running for the senator here in Texas, right?
Yep.
He had like 30, 40 million still in his coffers. Well, now as of, I think, Friday, he only had $1 million left in there. I think he's setting up the apparatus right now.
Sure.
He's taking that money and he's running. It's just a matter of when does he run.
Right. And he's going to use that money to grow more money and to reach new investors. That's all it is. He'll start this social media campaign and all kinds of stuff. But I believe it's going to be delayed, and he's got plenty of time. Why announce now and just be a face in the crowd?
Well, and that'll be the smart. Who comes in?
Yes.
You're right. The strategy will be come in at the last possible moment, swoop in, and be the new fresh face.
And the only way Michelle runs, and I do believe she is not running, but the only way she does is if she is truly the last-minute candidate who saves the party.
And that may be it, too. You may watch this infighting amongst all these 30 candidates, and Michelle may be like, well, I just need to be above the fray.
Can you
come in
imagine
and save this deal?
How they would wet their pants over
God.
a Michelle Obama Beta O'Rourke ticket?
Oh, yes.
Yes. That has potential.
Oh, it would look great.
Huge potential.
There it is. Now, I'm going to mention a name that would be a true long shot to run. I'm going to admit this, and you're not going to know who she is. No, I think he might be in
For the Democratic side?
If it's a job.
That's what I hear.
This is a woman, you probably don't know her name, but you may have seen her as a contributor on CNN and some other places. If she does not run now for president, you are going to hear her name, and she will be somebody's in their cabinet, a running mate down the road, something. She's a former state rep from Ohio. She's just state level. But remember, off the board, you can do anything now, right?
Right.
Her name is Nina Turner, and I believe she's an attorney, and I believe she used to...
married to Ike?
That's
That's
Tina
what
Turner.
I was going to ask.
sorry,
I mean, related
This
to
is
Ike and Tina?
Less bruises than Tina.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Nina Turner, I think is her name, former state rep, and I want to say she teaches at Ohio State, maybe?
She's got good cred then.
So, well, she's got... it's from a big area, a lot of connections, right? Big money, all this stuff. And she's making the rounds. I've seen her on TV a lot recently, and she made pretty big splash in Ohio as well. And she's progressive. So she's a black woman.
Right.
So this is a woman I think you're going to hear her name in the future. She's an up-and-comer, let's say. Watch for her as a wild card somewhere. Nina Turner.
And you know who you haven't even gotten to the celebrity side of the ballot yet.
Those are all unknowns, but
well,
yeah.
they are. But there's going to be 2 or 3 celebrities that throw their... Oprah might be one. The Rock might be one. Angelina Jolie might be one.
The Rock could run as a Republican,
Ashley
though.
Judd. Hell, she might be one.
Ashley Judd is, I think, of all of those you just named, the most likely because she's also bat crap crazy.
They're out there, and I'm going to tell you, there will be a couple dark horse celebrity
candidates
who believe that their
could be Kanye.
reach could be Kanye. It could very well be.
Ashley Judd's not doing anything else right now,
That's
so
right.
she might as well.
Right.
But there will be a couple, 2 or 3 celebrities
By the
that
way,
throw their hat
Ashley
in the ring.
Judd has no chance.
No.
She has no falling. Kanye does.
Yes. But
Do you realize
what party would he run for?
Well, he says he supports Trump or whatever, but then he came out and bashed him, and then he was back on.
And then he came out and said he suffered from mental disease, so that's not going to sit well with... Do
you think that
Well, our
doesn't
current
matter?
president, according to the left, is bat crap crazy, so what does it matter?
I'm telling you.
I think that when you have that kind of quote running around out there, although, you get all the Trump quotes from before
Well, yeah,
he was
you get all of the... First of all, every progressive would jump on. None of them are going to go, well, I can't vote for him.
Right. Because they don't care.
They will
Joy
excuse
Behar's
away-
out there running around saying, I don't care that Bill Clinton was a rapist. Right. I'm still going to vote for him because he likes to kill babies.
They will excuse away every potential problem with Kanye, just as the sycophants, not people who just supported, but the sycophants did with Trump.
Right.
Not that he hasn't done a good job. He has, but there were truly the sycophants. They will explain all of those things away. And if you put somebody more reasonable next to him as a running mate, why not? Why wouldn't they support him?
Would they support Kanye, though, after he came out for Trump? That's really the question. They're going to be like, does he still is he fooling us?
Ready? All you have to do is say, I said those, just get my name out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can excuse anything away today.
people will believe anything.
Trump supported Democrats.
Oh,
He supported Hillary and Bill.
I know. They
He
got
funded all
pictures of
those.
him. I know. It's got, and Schumer and
But what did people say? He had to do that for business. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. That's not the point.
That's a great point.
In today's world, none of that matters.
Yep.
Nancy Pelosi said we have to pass the bill to find out what's in it.
Yeah.
And then when they were in the minority, said, how come they're not posting the bill for 24 hours?
Yep.
It doesn't matter. There's no yesterday.
No, there isn't.
It doesn't matter.
Isn't
You
it
could have the
amazing?
people on tape signing contracts
Yep.
in blood. There is no yesterday.
No.
Kanye can explain it. He's Kanye.
Yeah.
He can say whatever the F he wants, and people are like, right on.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're probably right. I mean, the sad thing is you are probably right.
So that's where we're at with that.
So how
All
many
right.
is that? How many did we just run through?
Oh,
25?
Closer to 30.
Okay. I mean,
With the celebrities over 30.
25 over. I mean, I would not be surprised if they didn't have 36 candidates to start this deal. Now, how many are going to make the stage?
I hope so many make the stage that they all have to share a podium like Nancy and Chuck.
I know
Like
they couldn't come up with two of them. They couldn't come up with two podiums. Oh, it was so funny.
There's a GoFundMe page, by the way, to buy another podium.
Oh, my God.
Kid you not.
Hey, you know what's funny, though? Did that not work out so well on the rebuttal with those two? I mean, they could have had two podiums. You know why they did it, though? No one can be
Their
seen.
ego.
Yeah, it's
Their
their
ego.
egos. They can't be seen as one being better than the other.
Right.
Oh, my God. Well, Nancy can't be better than me, so we got to stand beside each other
And the sad part is
and act like idiots.
they didn't do what they could have. They looked as bad as Trump.
Oh, I
Some
think
people
they
thought
looked
Trump
worse.
looked, but that's fine. But
Well,
they didn't
Trump
look good.
can't read off a teleprompter.
But they
man.
had an opportunity to crush him.
And they can't.
If Nancy had
Yeah.
come out there with the well prepared, or Chuck, he's a good, and just looked at people and said, "Guys, this is nuts." From their perspective, I mean,
Right.
Not that I agree with that, but
No.
they could have crushed it. Somebody dynamic. It's the same mistake they made with Mr. Reach Over, Grab the Water, Marco Rubio.
I know.
Guys, you've got to go out there. You're all selling the sizzle at that point.
Yeah.
It's all image. Doesn't even matter what you say.
Well-
You just have to look good.
And the problem is the left has no idea about optics. I mean, I'm going to talk about it today. 30 of them are down in Puerto Rico partying with the cast of Hamilton.
I think they have
in the
every sense of
government-
optics.
in
No,
the
they
gov-
just don't
oh, come
care.
on.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe they don't. But, you know, you're partying in Puerto Rico while the government shut down. And you just
Yep.
said it. Oh, my God, these people are not getting paychecks. Let's jump on a private jet, fly to Puerto Rico, where the good Puerto Rico, not the one that was ravished by the hurricane, and party with the cast of Hamilton. But we love you, by the way. We love you.
Turn the cameras this way.
No.
Did you see Menendez with the chick on the beach?
I know. Ooh.
Was she hot?
No.
Yes, she was. Well, better than him.
Better than him.
They're a little,
Money
they're
will buy you anything.
Little cottage cheese in the back legs there.
Oh.
So, all right, Matlock coming up 1 hour from right now on this MoJo 5-0.
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving, home of fun, entertaining, and compelling talk. MoJo 5-0.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The man suspected of kidnapping a Wisconsin teenager after killing her parents is due for his first court appearance later today.
Jake Thomas Patterson is expected to appear in Barron County Circuit Court this afternoon after prosecutors formally charge him with intentional homicide and kidnapping. Investigators believe the 21-year-old broke into James and Denise Kloss's Wisconsin home back in October, gunned the couple down, and abducted their 13-year-old daughter, Jamie. She went missing for nearly 3 months before escaping last week from a cabin where she says Patterson had been holding her about an hour's drive away from where she lived. I'm Matt Small.
At 24 days, this partial government shutdown is the longest ever, and it's shredding the finances of some of those affected. EPA environmental engineer Anthony Sang among the hundreds of thousands of federal workers not getting a paycheck now.
When you live check to check, your budget is already slim. I have bills that I have to figure out which ones I'm going to pay late if I get the money eventually.
President Trump says House Speaker Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Schumer could end the shutdown in 15 minutes. On Twitter, the president writes, at this point, it has become their and the Democrats' fault. No talks are scheduled to break the impasse over border security funding. The National Capital Region, among parts of the East, blasted by a winter storm that previously pounded the Midwest.
A couple of 12 or 13-inch reports south of Baltimore. and I see a couple of 10 or 12-inch snowfall amounts on the eastern shore of Maryland. D.C. itself, down at Ronald Reagan Airport, 10.6 inches.
Jim Hayes at the National Weather Service. Demanding smaller class sizes and more money, Los Angeles teachers on strike today, the first L.A. teacher strike in 3 decades. Wall Street, Dow futures down 171 points, S&P futures off 18. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Take the pain out of ordering your diabetic testing supplies with Diathrive. Diathrive ships the testing supplies you need directly to you when you need them. Best of all, with plans starting as low as $8 a month, Diathrive is probably going to cost you less than what you're paying today. Diathrive is so convinced that you'll love their service, they're offering your first month of supplies free. Simply type the code DOC, D-O-C, at checkout. Diathrive.com. That's D-I-A, thrive.com.
Hey, it's Doc Thompson. Got the new show on MoJo 5 coming up. Hopefully you'll join us for that. And as a regular feature, my good friend, my life partner, Chef Patrick Mosier. I mean that in a food sort of way.
I would hope so.
Yeah. You'll be joining us on the broadcast as well?
Absolutely. Every day that you ask me to.
Talking food and business and prostitutes, right? Because you're the food biz pro, and that's what the pro's for.
It's all about cocaine and hookers.
It's all about cocaine and hookers until somebody gets arrested. And then it's about the legal system. And well, you get the point. We'll be talking food and food trends and business. And of course, we'll be spotlighting business, as I always have on my broadcast. But Chef Patrick Mosier will join us, and he has his own platform starting soon on Spoonie Radio.
Spoonie Radio, 24-hour food talk radio.
Can you really talk about food for 24 hours a day?
I could, but even I don't want to listen to myself talk about food for 24 hours. So we will have
somebody will.
Someone will be on the air 24 hours a day talking food, fun, travel, culture, and more than anything, food.
It looks like you're losing.
I am.
Are you losing weight?
I am losing. I've lost about 10 pounds.
How are you doing it?
Funny name, but I've done it with Riduzone, RADUzone.com, and the stuff works. It's, you get into all that, the molecule this and the found in that. All I can tell you is it makes you feel full, and it keeps your mind off of wanting to overeat.
And also boosts your metabolism,
Yes,
so you're
it does.
burning more.
Yeah, it
Try it today. It's going to work for you like it's worked for Brad and countless other people. Riduzone.com, RIDUzone.com.
Mothership has landed.
All right, let's get some communiques now via the social media platforms. It's at Doc Thompson Show, at Real Brad Staggs, and at MoJo 50.
Bob Blah Blah.
Love the Bob Blah
The
Blah.
2020 Democratic debate should use a Hollywood Squares format. That is brilliant. I'll take Joe Biden to block, please.
Joe, what song is played when the president enters the room?
You know, I met a man recently.
Send in the clowns.
Have you ever seen one?
Yeah, that would be
great. You'd need a hell of a big square, though.
We joke about it, but how far are we from it being American Ninja Warriors?
Yeah. Why not? Last man standing gets the nomination.
Maybe that's too physical. We're thinking of it too, but some competition like that. Because we already treat it that way. There's a pregame, there's color commentary, a postgame, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're not far off from that being the standard, and
it's going to be awesome.
Taint camouflage sleeve learned. If I'm not mistaken, Chelsea Clinton is old enough to run.
She is. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I think it's going to be some unknown that comes in at the last second.
I don't know. Yeah, it could be. That's the reason I said Michelle Obama. I think she probably would do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much she wants it. I think on one hand, Michelle Obama's ego, not that that's a bad thing, but would enjoy that, want to make that mark in a woman and whatever. That's fine. Progressive agenda. I think part of Michelle Obama is really done with this.
Or is she a woman?
She's would be possibly the first woman to be anyway. I think part of her is really done with the public spotlight. I don't think she enjoys all that stuff, being the scrutiny and all that.
Maybe
I
mean, it's a lifestyle though to which you could become very accustomed.
True. I think she considers, and first of all, has more knowledge of what you're getting along with that power and fame.
Yes.
She knows the downside.
Rectal exam.
So she's like, On the other hand, she's already been vetted through all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there would be new, but not. I mean, she's already been through most of it that the others have not been through.
Anymore, the best you can hope for as president is have half the people love you. That's it. Half the people are going to love you, and she already knows which half loves her. So
interesting.
Larky Farkin says the Democrats are going to be putting together their own suicide squad full of freaks to run 2020. And they're halfway there.
What do you mean? Oh, just in total?
Suicide squad. Number's already 12, according to Drake Watches AOC Dancing.
The what?
The number is already 12.
Of those running?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're hadn't
It's going to, there's still some people we haven't even thought of, whatever, too, that'll likely end up running. But you got the Angelina Jolie celebrities and Alyssa Milano.
She doesn't want to. I don't think those people really want to disrupt their lives.
Oh, I think some of them, you got to remember, some of those people, it's not even about helping. They believe they're helping, whatever, but it's about ego. It's power and ego.
Yeah, but even I believe even Donald Trump, when he was elected, went, crap.
Oh, of course there's part of it that does that.
And I think that.
Of course.
I think they can see
But it is so seductive. That level of power and influence.
They want to win. They don't necessarily want to do the job.
There's no level of power or success in Hollywood that compares with the presidency. Now, you could be the ultimate puppet master, the billionaire 20 times over that is pulling the strings.
Right.
And that's a lot of power, and that's pretty seductive. But still, to be in the exclusive club of President of the United States.
Would you want to do it?
That's not the question. I'm just saying it's very seductive.
I guess.
I would.
Seems like a whole lot of work.
I now have greater understanding and consideration of the downside that comes with it, the scrutiny, than I did 25 years ago or as a kid. And that would give me pause. If I thought I could do some good, yeah.
All right. I wonder if Rocky Stucci would run. He's watching right now.
Hey, Rocky Stucci. Rocky, he'll be on tonight at midnight. It's the Situation Room. If you haven't caught the broadcast, please check it out tonight at midnight. I would have to be able to do some good. Believe I could.
Sure. Well, I mean, you wouldn't run if you didn't believe you could do some good.
That's not me, yes. A lot of them, no. A lot of them just want the notoriety in that, too. It's power. That's what I'm saying. It's seductive. They lie to themselves and say they also want to do some good and stuff, but yeah. You got any other comment?
Who is Ojeda? Drake watches AOC Dancing, says, check out Vote Ojeda 2020 from West Virginia. He just won re-election in November just to drop out less than 2 months later. So now his state has to fill a spot. Talk about a waste of taxpayer dollars.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either. We'll find out.
Okay.
Jeff in Exile says, dudes, PewDiePie is Swedish.
Is he? I didn't even know that.
I didn't either. But why can't a Swede? Why the hell are we so non-inclusive that a Swede can't run for president of the United States?
Right.
Bunch of, I tell you, the hatred in this country is just rising to new levels. Just saying.
So what is it for me to run? I'd have to be able to do some good, but I couldn't play this. I couldn't play the political game, only to a certain point.
Trump doesn't play the political game.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying I would have to and be successful at it. I don't know if I could, because I mean, what you hear on the air here is pretty much what you'd get.
Well, Trump won. Trump won. People want on.
Just so you know, I'm going to say black titties. I'm just going to, and I'm going to be cracking wise. I'm just telling you, it's coming out. So
Trump,
can I get elected?
Trump said I'm going to grab him by the, and he got elected anyway.
Okay.
So, I mean,
it would be time and place. Don't get me wrong.
Standards are different.
It's not going to be part of my inaugural address.
You're going to wear a dress?
No, during my inaugural address.
Oh.
I wouldn't bust that out.
Ah, gotcha.
But I mean, the not so hidden tape is going to come out,
right?
Of me with the fellas telling a joke about that stuff. The president just said that, or whatever, and I'm going to say, what's wrong with it?
I think the standards have changed, and again, it's a new, different, exciting world.
You know, it would be a challenge for me if elected president. I would truly want to meet as many people as I could, and travel to as much of the country as I could.
Right.
I want to learn. I want to know. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I want to do all that. The problem is I couldn't in good conscience travel like that. I would have to be one of the least traveled presidents, which would be frustrating because I couldn't in good conscience continue to spend that level of money and disrupt everybody's life like that just because I decided to go and visit Maine.
That is annoying. That is annoying.
Do you know the dilemma? I would love, to be transparent and have a president that is as much as possible. I mean, the schedule is incredible, but to be able to go to middle of nowhere, Maine, and it'd be cool just to go, do you know, cool, random school or whatever, small town, to show up and go,
yeah,
that's huge for somebody to get to meet the president and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But
not thanks to Lee Harvey Oswald. We can't do that anymore.
I'm not even saying I'd worry about my safety that much. I'm saying the disruption of people's lives when you travel as president. And I'm not talking your staff and that. I'm talking about the people there. That whole town, the whole everything's screwed up. And then the money, the gobs and gobs of American taxpayers' money so I can get on a plane.
Well, if they're
that would be really frustrating.
And if they're going to do it, why don't they do it at 2 a.m? When there's nobody on the... Why do they always pick rush hour to show up in traffic and shut the damn freeway down? They don't care.
I mean, that would be one of my dilemmas. I couldn't do them. Couldn't do that.
Yeah. So. I think you'd manage.
All right, communiques via the social media.
Let's see here. MCMXDM, John Kasich will run too because his dad was a mailman.
Well, people have questioned whether or not he would run as a Democrat. There's the odds were for him running as a Republican, but I'm the one that suggested he might run as a Democrat.
You never know.
And if not, you could see Kasich doing the split party or a split ticket, where Beto O'Rourke picks John Kasich as his running mate type of thing.
Has that ever been done in history?
It has. In fact, back in the early days, it wasn't based on parties, so we did have natural split tickets. It was the second vote getter, basically, became vice president. But John McCain wanted that. John McCain was going to pick Joe Lieberman from Connecticut.
Why is that a bad idea? I mean, if you could accomplish that, that would, think about the rift that it may bridge.
It's not about the party. It's about the ideas. John and Joe were very close in ideas and values.
Right. So essentially what you'd have at that point is gridlock and nothing would get done,
but John shouldn't have been a Republican.
Right. Well, and it
certainly wasn't conservative.
And they flip-flop all the time, depending upon where. And that's the other thing, is you never know what they really do believe versus what they are saying because of popular opinion. So it's with politicians, I mean, you can't trust any of them. None of them. Not even the hot ones.
Well, to give you an example of how you can't trust politicians, and you can't trust the media either, over the weekend, a story, and most of you probably saw the video, or a lot of you did, of a television station in San Diego, KUSI. KUSI. It's an independent station covering the news in San Diego, and shared a story. This is now, how many views? It's been shared almost 18,000 times with 30,000 likes.
Yeah.
They're letting the cat out of the bag. I'm guessing that they are more conservative.
Most likely.
And that doesn't shock me because, well, it does because it's the media, but San Diego is a more conservative town.
Right.
I don't know if most people know that.
I didn't know that, but it makes sense if you think about the naval base there.
Yeah. You got the bases down, actually several bases in Southern California or whatever. San Diego, or at least parts of that far south, are pretty conservative. So, okay, I could see that as an independent station.
Right.
2 news anchors discussing The Wall. Remember, they're on the front line.
Sure.
The Wall, and how CNN contacted them, that they're independent, and asked them to do some work. Now, the way this works, if ABC News needs some information, a story out of San Diego, they talk to the local's ABC affiliate.
Right.
So, they send each other stories both ways. The network in New York sends stories down, and then vice versa. The local ones, if it's big enough that it would also be significant on the national stage, they send it up to the national. Problem is, if you're CNN, you don't have any affiliates. You're a national.
I think they have. They have regional. They do have affiliates. It's a regional.
It's
network.
more of a partnership they do with local stations.
Right.
I mean, they do some some partnerships if you have an in sharing news, but it's not like ABC and CBS.
No. It's not like the networks. It's
so if they don't have somebody there, a reporter, they'll contact some of these independent news outlets and say, hey, can you put a package together for us, a report on something? So they contacted KUSI and said, can you cover the wall for us? Over 1 million views this has gotten. And here's what the ladies had to say about CNN.
As a sign of the times in this debate on the shutdown, CNN asked if KUSI would provide a reporter to offer our local view of the debate, especially to learn if the wall works in San Diego.
KUSI offered our own Dan Plant, who's reported many times that the wall is not an issue here. In fact, most officials believe it is effective. The issue we face is the migrants and the debate over their treatment.
Now, knowing this, CNN declined to have us on their programs, which often present the wall as not required in other places, like the stretch of the Texas border the president visited earlier today. They didn't like what they heard from us.
It's just some background for you.
interesting.
There it is.
And not surprising.
CNN said, can you cover this? And they said, sure, here's our report. Here's the information.
Right.
The wall is not a problem here. In fact, a lot of people here locally believe it is effective.
Right.
The question is the migrants and everything else, but it's not the wall. You're hand-wringing CNN over the wall. You're covering this in a, wow, it's a problem fashion is inaccurate. That's our report, basically.
Yes.
And CNN said, okay, never mind, we're not going to run that.
Yeah, CNN's doing a good job of discrediting their own reporters anyway, with the whole Acosta thing.
And there it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, that shows you right there. Folks, it's not just in the media if you want to push an agenda. It's not just saying certain things or only supporting one side. It's also stories you will not cover or stories you choose to cover.
It's lying by omission.
If a bunch of MS-13 gangbangers shoot up a school today,
right,
and CNN doesn't cover it,
of course not,
then it's not a problem. Or if they cover it and they say, look at the guns, they shot up a school. What about the fact that they're MS-13, they're illegals, they shouldn't have been in the country, and they're gangbangers?
Right.
What about that?
Yeah, they don't do any of that.
But sometimes they don't even cover stories, or will beat other stories into the ground, like the wall or Russia. This is great.
Yeah. It follows the narrative, and it's the hypocrisy that it's always been there. It'll always be there.
This is proof right here.
Oh yeah,
they KUSI didn't say, "Hey CNN, we got a report if you want to cover it on the wall. It's a great thing." CNN said, "We need somebody to cover the wall to get the facts, the most trusted name in news." And they reached out and said, we got the facts for you. And they said, we don't want those facts.
We need different facts. We need alternative facts.
Let's go to other border, alternative facts. What the ladies reported was accurate. What CNN likely ended up reporting was accurate as well. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Because so much of it is perspective and opinion. And there's going to be a lot of people out there. I've heard it. I know people. I've worked with people that reportedly harp on, that's not facts, that's opinion. And alternative facts. No. Yes, you can conflate opinion and facts, but that's where perspective comes in. And context. It's not as simple as saying facts are facts. Most of the time, that's true. It is a fact that Brad Staggs believes that the wall is not a problem. It is a fact that somebody else believes the wall is a problem. So if I go to Brad Staggs and I say, is that wall a problem, sir? What do you think about the wall?
No, I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, but it's a wall here.
Yeah, it's a wall. It keeps people out.
Yeah, so, but I mean, it's got to be scary for you, and it's hurting people,
I'm
right?
Good with it. I'm fine with it.
I mean, it's keeping people from coming in the country, right?
Exactly. That's what I like.
If I go to somebody else and they say the same thing from a different perspective.
Yes.
You go to them and you go, it's a problem. It's a problem. And why is it a problem? Well, I've seen people get hurt. Okay, how about this? Families have been separated. Is that a fact?
Yes, it is. It's a fact.
Has the government separated children from their families down on the border?
Yes. Yes, they have.
They have.
They've also separated children from their families in America.
Yes.
That are U.S. residents.
Has the family separated people? Did the family know they were going to be separated?
Right.
The additional facts matter. To only report some facts are still facts, but it's taking them out of context, not having all the facts, and that's what they're doing here. CNN believes somehow that they're okay with this, knowing that they are omitting other facts, because then this comes from their believing they're doing right, I guess.
It's reporting on a house fire by saying the fire department showed up and caused $80,000 worth of damage using water.
Did they do that?
Yes, they did. They caused $80,000 worth of water damage to this home.
Yes.
Caused by the fire department, and we think they should all be fired.
But had they not shown up, the fire would have caused $2 million worth of damage to the house.
Yeah. It is. It's selective facts.
It's selective facts. It's out of context. And then there is opinion that does come into this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You have to know the difference.
There it is.
De Blasio against Trump's immigration policies. Do you know de Blasio put up a second fence inside his first fence at his house? Yeah, he put it. It was to keep people from staring in. But it was a second wall inside it. He had a security fence already. He put up a second one inside the first one.
Wow.
So it's all they're a bunch of hypocrites, and it's a narrative, and you have to be smart enough to discern between the two.
Wow.
And that's the problem.
Well, and these are also reasons you need to make sure you're protecting your family.
Yes.
Wall or other ways, because this is always in flux.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the pendulum fully swinging back for another 5 or 6 years or whatever.
One time, it took me forever to get out of that stuff.
You ever been in Dutch with influx?
Ooh, I've never tried that. Actually,
you ever been in Dutch?
That sounds like fun.
You don't want to be in Dutch with somebody.
You want to bring extra cash if you are.
That's right.
Just saying.
TRA Guns is how you can protect your family.
Mm-hmm.
I would say yes. You want some sort of locks and a walls, preventative devices as well. But then
I want a smart gun.
A smart gun.
I want a smart gun. I want a gun that only allows me to fire a round every 20 seconds.
No, you don't.
That's all I want. Yes, I want a smart gun because that way I'll be safe. I won't be in danger of shooting any bad guy coming into my house.
I went back and was watching some videos of CNN over the weekend of reports that they've done on ARs.
Mm-hmm. Assault
Have you seen those?
No, but I've seen them in the
there
past.
There are montages put together of videos and also just individual reports you can find on YouTube or whatever of their nonsense. Some of them have been removed because I remember some crazy ones that weren't posted, and that's what I was looking for, one in particular. And the crap. I saw an interview with a producer from 60 Minutes. So they're interviewing a producer on a story that they had covered because the story was obviously not impactful enough. Now we got to keep it alive by talking about how the producer felt when they produced this story on the power of ARs versus 9mm.
Well, that's a caliber thing. That's okay. Here's the police at one point had to switch from 9mm pistols to I think they went to 40s or 45s because with the new windshields. They
couldn't break the window.
The 9mm kept glancing out the windshield.
They used to do 38s for standard, right?
Yeah.
For cops?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there were revolvers. Now they use now cops use pistols because there is more ammunition in them so they can fight the bad guys.
But it's so funny when you watch these, we see these stories come up and we'll report on them. Listen to the term they use. Listen to what they're doing with this. CNN is omitting or lying or whatever. But when you see it in mass, when you see all these videos put together and you know the arguments, it's fascinating. If you can keep from being just infuriated by it.
Yes. You have to have some Xanax before you watch.
It's fascinating to see the systematic use. And it's not just one. They are not content with one spin or comment, weapon of war.
Right.
It's in one 2-minute report, 40 of these terms or whatever. Weapon of war, assault weapon. Do you know where they got assault weapon?
They mistook AR for assault rifle.
Right. No. The original, I didn't even know this.
No.
This goes back to the gun bill of the Clinton administration.
Okay.
They defined it as assault weapon. Why?
You can assault somebody with a salt shaker.
Yes, because they couldn't say automatic. They couldn't say any of these things. They needed something to sound scary, would give them enough power, enough teeth that they could go after some guns, but they wanted it open-ended. So while you and I joke, anything could be an assault weapon.
Yes.
Literally anything and everything. If it exists, it can be used as an assault weapon.
Yes.
An eyeball, a human eyeball. I could hit you with my eye. I could take an eye out of somebody's socket and assault you with it.
Oh,
anything
horrid
can be an assault weapon, and we mock that. That was their genius. They know that. They wanted it open-ended. That was their plan.
In their
and it's taken 20 years, but it's the narrative now.
Yeah, in theory, then, because when machine guns were outlawed, that should have stopped mass shootings.
Right. It's crazy. It's stupid.
Yes.
Get your gun now before there will be infringements. I'm telling you, it's coming. And Trump, unfortunately, in this area, is an unknown commodity. Executive order on bump stocks. Maybe that's the exception. I'm not taking any chances. Go to traguns.com. traguns.com. That website again?
It's traguns.com. I'm still lusting over this SIG, the P38. P230, 938 rather. I want one. I may have to get another one. It's like I need another gun, like I need a hole in the head.
Yeah, you're not devoid of guns.
I may have a couple of them. Just a couple of them. Taint camouflage sleeve, but in fact, I don't watch CNN, so I see no need for Jim Acosta to get paid. Aha.
That's a great point.
What else is going on here? Just a Pilgrim, you nailed it right on the head. Doc's presidential campaign is up on the roof already. See? Your presidential campaign, it's on the roof.
It's a grassroots movement.
Larky Farkin, how about we have presidential candidates participate in a most extreme elimination competition? Include goofy costumes.
How about this? How about instead of them debating issues, how about they have to answer a round of information questions, trivia?
I like
prove
that.
your knowledge.
Right. Yeah.
Why shouldn't you have to prove your knowledge? Do you want somebody that is not knowledgeable?
That's true.
And it doesn't have to end at just that. There could be other tests as well. Let's do that. Let's make it public.
So radical.
A mojo for every state. MoJo 50.
By the Numbers with Andrew Coppins is powered by TarRiverArms.com. They've revolutionized online firearm sales with high-resolution pictures, 3D imaging, and the best prices. How much will you save? Find out at TarRiverArms.com. That's TarRiverArms.com.
Last week, we covered the Dems' growing attempt to abolish the Electoral College, and of course, that means a straight-up popular vote coming our way. As we also covered last week, one county, Los Angeles County, could have the power to erase an entire state's voting wishes on its own. Given the Dems' clear wishes for the popular vote to elect our president, any potential for voter fraud should really matter. Yet, have you heard anything about what actually happened in lovely Los Angeles County during the 2018 election? Probably not, but if you care about electoral integrity, we bring you back to that Democratic stronghold. In our focus today is this number, 112%, as any recently settled lawsuit against LA County and the state of California shows 112% of eligible voters were on the rolls for the 2018 election in LA County alone. Yes, I said 112%. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out that means more people were on the rolls than actually eligible to vote in the county. Judicial Watch brought the suit, and according to its findings, upwards of 1.5 million inactive voters were still on the rolls for the 2018 election in the county. Now, not all of them may have had to be removed, but it isn't hard to see how voter fraud could easily happen either. This wasn't just a single county problem as well. 11 of California's 58 counties overall were not complying with the National Voter Registration Act, which requires the names of voters who have died, moved away, or otherwise are unaccounted for to be scrubbed after 2 general elections. Furthermore, Judicial Watch has filed similar lawsuits in multiple states to get them to comply with the same law. If we're going to be switching to the new system, doesn't it behoove the people proposing it to actually make sure everyone's real vote counts? Lawsuits like this point out it's far from the reality in today's polarized political landscape. This has been By the Numbers. I'm Andrew Coppins. You can follow me on Twitter at The Coppins Show.
Okay. All right. Hey, we got our new lineup here, MoJo 50. If you are not familiar with it, you can go to mojo50.com and check out the entire lineup. It's Matt Locke following our broadcast, and then, of course, the Morse Code with Brandon Morris. Did you hear him with Jason Hernandez last week?
I heard a piece of that. They're fun, and I've known both of them for a long time. And Jason I think Jason is an untapped talent.
He's a good-looking kid too.
Yeah, he is.
Jason is big fun, nice. They're both really smart and talented.
Except for
I hate
that
the little
one thing.
suckers so much. I hate them.
They remind me of me back when I had ambition and hope for the future.
Remember, youth and intelligence will be overcome by old age and treachery every time.
Damn straight. Just ask Hillary Clinton.
So check out Brandon Morris 1 to 3. Also, we'll be unveiling more and more new broadcasts. So we got Sam Sorbo starting around February 4th, I think it is, and some other shows on the weekends and evenings.
That's going to be a really good show.
Some other cool weekend programming that we can't announce yet. Really cool stuff coming up. We do have some slots for some broker time on weekends, and I'm looking for
slots.
Some slots.
Slots.
Like hours, yeah.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, some slots. What do you think I said? Okay.
You never know.
So if you are interested, we have some broker time available on the weekend, and we're looking for some religious services as well. So if your church, your community church, would like to broker some time on Sunday mornings and evenings, something like that, let us know. Just contact us through the website, mojo50.com. All of that's coming up. Get some communiques coming up. Before we get to those, though, it'll remind you about my friends at American Pride Roasters Coffee. Simply the best coffee. I say in America. It's really the best coffee in the world, but I just don't give a flying fig about the rest of the world.
Did you make the vanilla?
Yes.
That's good.
Which jug was it in?
The one that said vanilla. Which jug was it in? The one that said vanilla.
But that's an old label.
Oh. Well,
was it to the left, or was it a big jug or a small jug?
It was a big jug to the right.
To the right?
Yes.
Let me smell.
And smell the coffee too.
It's not vanilla.
Well, I was going to say I'm not.
It's blueberry.
That's it. Okay. You know what? When you think you're drinking Diet Coke, but it turns out to be Dr. Pepper, and it's like, what the hell is that? It doesn't. Your brain.
It's a leftover label. It says vanilla. That's the
yes.
But the reason I thought the one on the left, if it was the one on the left,
yeah, it was the one on the right.
Okay, the one on the left is the combination I made last week, the cold brew of hazelnut and bananas Foster.
Okay, that's now that I know what it is, it makes more sense. I thought, straight, it's good, but it's not. And
let me tell you what I did though. What's throwing you off there? That's actually a mix.
Don't tell me that. Okay,
it's primarily blueberry. I like to mix to see if what other cool stuff I can come up with.
That's all you got when you get older in life.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty much.
Try new things.
Yes.
So that's the blueberry with the sexual chocolate.
Aha.
So the tastes were actually kind of missed. So it's blueberry, raspberry chocolate.
Mm-hmm. And again, every time
it would have been better with just the blueberry.
I get a little taste of Ron Phillips in there.
Still good.
And it's better than good.
Amazing stuff, though. Seriously.
See?
That's coffee.
Wow.
AmericanPrideRoasters.com. You'll love this stuff. It really is the best coffee in the world, but we don't care about them, so we just say the best coffee in America. Try it today. AmericanPrideRoasters.com. AmericanPrideRoasters.com.
Dane Camouflage Sleep.
Oh, yeah. The official coffee of MoJo 50.
Yes, it is. I'm sure there's a certain submarine captain who knows a thing or two about slots.
Mm-hmm. Could be.
You see, I'm just saying. Competing on Jeopardy rather than winning primary elections. I'd vote for that.
Right. So
Homeward Bound Onion.
I mean, we could joke about it and see, what a spectacle you could make, and you put it on TV and you get sponsors or whatever. That's great.
Right.
But is it really that crazy?
No,
to
it's
think
not.
That presidential candidates should stand up and answer basic questions on basic knowledge.
Well, that's what debates used to be, isn't it? And then they've turned into just pissing matches and gotchas.
Right, and I don't want them as gotchas. And I think we should put it into perspective, and we should also, aside from just facts that they know, they should have to demonstrate some other cognitive abilities.
Well, and real world application of those facts. In other words, how the hell are you paying for this?
Right. Well, some people, intelligence, I think, can be measured a lot of different ways. I think this may not be the best description, but I think it's a sign, let's say abilities. If you're a great artist, doesn't mean you should be running the country, but maybe some of those skills transfer.
Right.
Okay. Trump is obviously a quick study, can, discern information and then make a decision. Wrong or right, he's a decision maker. It's what he does. I think we all get that. He's a negotiator.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely.
If you ask Trump who the, president of Brazil is, he probably is not going to know.
Or he might.
Maybe he does now.
I don't know.
So if we ask presidential candidates, okay, you're all going to stand up here. Round 1 is all facts.
Right.
Trivia. Round 2 is going to be application. 3 is going to be some way, if it's possible, to show how you can gather information and make a quick study or something like that. If you did it like that, that would be wonderful. So in the facts round, I would even tell everybody, regardless Democrat or Republican, if you're asking this person who is running for president who the prime minister of Liechtenstein is,
right?
Just stop it.
I didn't even know her.
It's not what the police said.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if they know that necessarily. I would hope you would know who Putin is. I would hope you understand, who the heads of, the biggest countries are.
Right.
Because that shows just a general...
it's general knowledge.
General knowledge, or that you pay attention to current events.
Yes, that at least if you're going to get into politics, at least you know something about them. I think that's wise.
Who's the Prime Minister of Canada now?
Still Trudeau?
Justin Trudeau, right. I can't remember the new guy in Mexico's name.
Juan Valdez, I believe.
I think that was the predecessor.
Oh, was it? Okay.
But there's
Jose
a new guy.
Cuervo.
I can tell you several of the last ones. But these things change. So if somebody's been there a long time, you should know. Or if they're, because you've absorbed stuff. Otherwise, you're saying you've never know. But I fear they would do the gotchas. Right?
Of course they would.
Who's the vice prime assistant deputy to the traveling secretary of Guatemala? Go. 10 seconds.
Then again, you have how do you feel about Aleppo?
Yeah, right. You should. That I think is fair. Now they use that as a gotcha,
of course, they did.
But
it was a good gotcha.
More so than if you know world leaders. I would say you should know basic civics.
Yeah. Yes, you should know at least how the government works.
Okay, I would say you should be able to pass a test. In fact, you should be able to ace a test on Schoolhouse Rocks.
And you just hit part of the nail on the head right there. That used to be part of Saturday morning programming. I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill.
You should know how a bill becomes a law.
Yeah.
Officially. Right? I mean, would that be crazy? If you're running for president, you should have a basic knowledge. In fact, we don't even consider this now, but you should have a basic knowledge of warfare.
Or at least know a good general who does.
Okay, so let's say this. Let's say you have no knowledge of warfare. Lincoln.
Or at least read a book about it.
Lincoln really didn't know much about warfare. But he studied very quickly, and he was a good decision maker. Did all right.
Oh, I've read his tweets. He was fabulous.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
So let's say you have no connection to military. You didn't serve. Your understanding is lost. This is your week. But you make great decisions quickly, and you learn quickly. You hire good. Okay. So that's the reason you have to show that side of it as well. So I think this is, instead of listening to them blah, 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 and do the gotchas and whatever, which really doesn't amount to anything, that's spectacle. And for a political junkie, it's entertainment, it's theater.
Absolutely. Well, isn't that what politics
But
is?
it's not really helping us make good choices.
You know who brought up another good point? I'm beginning to wonder if camouflage sleeve is on some sort of recreational pharmaceutical this morning. I want my guns the same way that Democrats want immigrants, undocumented.
Nice.
And that's a good point. The Democrats, they will take something they consider dangerous, guns, and they want to know where every one of those is. But you've proven that some of these illegal immigrants are dangerous. They don't want to know. We can't. No. We don't want them documented.
Think how crazy that is. That they see every gun
as dangerous.
As dangerous. I mean, to the crazy point where they believe a gun can somehow just
Jump
pick
off
itself
the
up table and just start murdering
It's
people.
amazing to watch when that happens.
Every gun is absolutely inherently dangerous.
Yeah, according to them.
But no illegal is dangerous.
Yeah. And no one ever calls them on that.
Contrast that with people on the right, most people on the right, that guns can be dangerous in the hands of the wrong people.
Yes.
Stupid people, mentally ill. And most people on the right also say mentally deficient people should not have guns. They have questions how you keep them without infringing other rights.
Sure.
And most people on the right say most illegals are not bad people or murderers, but some are, and therefore we need to know who they are.
Right.
So the question for people on the right is screening and information gathering. You may be dangerous with a gun. Let's find out who you are and find a way to do that without infringing everybody else's rights. Tricky. I don't know if that's there, but that's their question.
Right.
And in the absence of an ability to do that without infringing rights, that we absolutely do not infringe their rights. So let's not proceed until we figure it out. And also say, let's distinguish between the illegals that are doing bad and not. Let's know. And let's find out and put a system in place, enforce the laws that are there that are already in place to know who those people are.
Right.
That's crazy, apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
It makes no sense whatsoever. And again, these things they aren't called out on them in any other forum.
It's hard for me to believe that or imagine that we have that much change year to year between popularity of and trends of sex, but apparently it does happen.
It does.
I mean, I get
people are freaks.
Terms changing and things becoming more obvious and accepted, but there are trends of sex from year to year. Just trying to figure out how I make money off of this. Is there any way without being directly in the porn business?
You could make sex dolls. You could make sex toys. That was actually a big thing at CES.
Really?
Yeah.
This year?
One of the at CES, I think it was a vibrator that a company received the Innovation Award, and then because it's an independent council that votes these in, and CES rescinded the award, saying it didn't fall under their standards. So they yanked the award.
Hey-o.
But
okay, is it?
It's just, again, sometimes you go back. We were founded by a country with people with buckles on their shoes.
I understand the fear of CES. Back up. Just put it out there. Okay. If that's, and it fits your category, fine. I do understand the concern of them saying we don't want to end up a sex product show.
Consumer electronics show.
As long as that's it.
They allowed them to be in the show, so why wouldn't they allow them to be?
Because that's money.
Okay, yes, exactly.
Because
That's
you
my
rented
point.
a booth, right?
Yes. And you know what else they did? Same thing with a cannabis. We didn't even sell cannabis. It was a system by which you, some money accounting software, whatever, and they let him be on the floor, and then they said, no, you have to go, and then they let him back in. It's like they're the schizophrenic. But the sex toy thing, but
it's the largest, I think, show in the world. I think I read that. Of its type.
I know it's
not even electronic.
huge.
I mean, what do you call that? Your trade show?
Yeah, it's a trade show.
So it's the largest trade show in the world. Then
I've been there once. You can't. You need a full week to cover the whole thing. It's amazingly large.
I was there and saw a tiny little sliver of it in '93, 92 or 93 when I lived in Vegas.
Right.
And I lived. They have it at the convention center, which is at the intersection of Paradise and Desert Inn.
The Desert Inn is
Desert Inn.
Yeah. Well, actually, they have
I'm sorry. Convention Center. Yeah.
They have it now. It spills into both. It's at the convention center and it's at the Sands as well. The Sands,
oh, is it?
yeah,
okay.
It's in both.
And I lived a block and a half from the convention center. It was right there. So I went there then, and it was overwhelming then.
Oh, yeah.
This is 20, 30 years later, right?
Yeah.
So, huge.
It is big.
Largest of its type trade show in the world.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I don't know why you would be so paranoid about it. I get your concerns. You don't want it to be something it's not. You don't want it to be salacious or seedy or something like that. You're already in Vegas. Vegas has their sex award shows every year.
I was going to say, then don't have it in Vegas. It's Sin City. If you're that concerned about your image and or reputation, don't put it there.
Remember when I was there in '93, they had this big, not unveiling, but big display and presentation on this thing called Windows. That was the first time I remember seeing the Windows logo.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
A whole lot easier than MS-DOS was.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, sex trends of last year that likely will continue this year, do you think?
This is from Forbes. So Forbes is not, they're not concerned about it. Sex toys continue to innovate and proliferate. Bonnie Hall of the sex toy retailer Love Honey points out. Put it out there, or as it's.
All right, we need a name for the company. What's the company? Butthurt? That's not working.
No. I like it in the number 2. No.
Anal directive. No, that could be too direct there.
Something
could be too limiting.
With love in it. It'll make it sound I don't know, soft.
Nether regions.
Nah, it sounds still like Sweden.
Love honey. Love honey. I love it. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't love love and who doesn't love honey?
Exactly.
How about Honey Love?
No, that's a porn name.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Vibrators and similar products have improved in quality, gained traction with mainstream retailers as wellness products. So that's what they discovered is
this is Mad Men. Do you remember the Relaxinator 4000 for women who were just too uptight? It's the Relaxinator 4000. Oh, I feel so much better. Such a stress relief.
That was doctors actually used to do that.
Oh yeah.
Way back, they would make women have an orgasm in their office as a way to.
Did the doctors know and were scamming the women?
That's a good question. Ron started to pay attention.
Some had to have known.
Ron, do you know what a satisfied woman sounds like?
Yes.
Nicely done.
The only reason he fell for that one.
That's right, exactly.
But no, they say that these trends continue in 2018. They're likely to march into 2019 as well. Male sex toys in particular have seen a wave of fresh innovation despite the challenges of selling them, they say.
Oh, you feminazis. You are so in for the few. You have no idea how you've hurt yourself, feminazis. We used to have a balance in the world. I'm talking in generalities. These are not 100%, but generally speaking, men were the aggressors. This is the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
And women were the attractors, right?
You are so old-fashioned.
I know. And this is how the population continued. The beautiful flower smelled good, was pretty, opened her petals, and the little bee came along and fertilized the flower.
Wait a minute. Are we with the bees, right?
I don't know.
We have the sting. Okay.
And this is how it was, and that was fine. And of course, the world changes, and women become a little more aggressive, and all, and that's all fine. That's great. You cross the line when you become the feminazis, though. When you do the, we don't need men and whatever. Because this entire time, the feminazis have still, and this is something they don't share, are still counting on men to be men. Still trying to, except where the lesbians are concerned, attracting men.
Right.
They still know they have half the money and all of the hoo-ha.
Yes, they do.
And they know men are interested in such things. So that's always the ace up their sleeve, right?
And remember, with the hoo-ha, they can get all the money they want.
Right. They know this. That's no secret. I mean, we're joking, but it's the truth.
It is the truth.
They are overplaying their hand by trying to be too controlling and feminazi and all of this stuff without the give and take. Sorry, you're going to claim that? You got to be willing to give some stuff up. Yeah. This is just how it is.
Wow.
So as this technology continues and the sex robots are here, ladies, as much as you claim you don't need men, you need a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Men need women. No, they don't at all. They don't need a woman like anything. When the sex comes along that is anywhere in the zone of actual women, it is over. It's done. Because you know what you have with it? Blabbity, 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 blah. And do you think your feminazi rants are going to help this?
Likely no.
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 This is why Generation Z is figuring this stuff out. Ladies, I'm not suggesting that men don't come with their own baggage and crap. Of course we do. Of course. But remember, this is the one area that they have been playing on, the feminazis.
Apparently there's a mystery vibe. It's an anatomy neutral toy that they're trying.
What's it, a washing machine?
I don't know. It's a new toy, and it's $130. It won't ship until sometime, I guess.
What's it shaped like?
This.
Well, that's not sexual.
I don't know.
How
I don't know what the hell is it.
Turn your computer the other. Oh, okay. Now we get it. That's
what the hell do you do with
now
it?
Jiggle your computer around. Okay, yeah, that makes
now
sense.
I see
That's
what
good.
it does. But no, if you think about the gender confusion, let's say, or the number of genders out there has affected that industry.
Well, and the reason you don't understand that's for Two-Spirit.
Is that what that is? Does it go in a hole or does it go over something?
Yes, it does.
Wow. It's the first malleable gender neutral sex toy.
You know what I like from my sex toys? I like them to be malleable. That's malleable. How do you say that?
Malleable.
Malleable.
I thought it was. I thought you wanted things to be turgid.
Not if they vibrate.
Huh.
They don't have to be.
That is.
Brad, in today's world, sex toys don't have to be turgid.
Apparently
they can be
not.
malleable.
It's so confusing.
I know.
I don't understand it.
Here's what I'm going to do for you today. I know this is confusing. Here's what I'm going to do for you today. We'll just get a couple of beers and we'll go watch Charlie's Angels reruns, okay? We'll just...
That works. I like
by
that.
By reruns, I mean we'll get the DVDs. By the DVDs, I mean...
We can pause them.
We'll look them up on Netflix.
We can just pause and stare at them.
You want to do that? We'll just do that. Don't pay attention to any of that stuff, okay?
I'm in. I'm totally in, by the way.
If you've been exploring these options that Brad brought up, some of them maybe even featured at the CES, and where I think we're going as a society, there's going to be a lot of people in pain, a lot.
Isn't that the truth?
Because, we're going
relax. Relax.
It's going to be like when you have a sander and you're trying to do too much too quickly.
It can be
a lot of chafing.
You don't want to bite off more than you can chew. You really don't.
So I imagine there's going to be a lot of long-lasting pain for a lot of people, and the good news is we already have that tech. That tech's already here to help you with the continuing pain. Right over there, my friend. It's a green bag, and on it you'll see the words Relief Factor. It's giving people a relief.
Someone keeps moving the bag. I hate it when that happens. Now, Relief Factor, and it's funny, over the weekend I did a little work and kind of up to my dosage, doing 3 packets a day right now. And it's working.
Good.
And it's not like I'm ever going to get hooked on this stuff because, well, here's the funny thing. They say you're not going to get hooked on it. Yeah, you will. You will.
Yeah, it's not addictive.
But it is.
Is it because you like not being in pain?
Because it works. The beauty of it is not dangerous because it's botanicals and omega-3s.
Right.
But now, what am I, 4 or 5 years on this?
Remember, addiction means it's becoming a problem in your life.
Right.
This is not a problem in your life.
Who said drugs are only a problem if you can't afford them?
There it is.
Here's the thing about Relief Factor. It's $20 for the 3-week quick start pack. You get that. You take it as directed. And then if you find that you're not having pain like you did before, you'll order more. And if you find this crap doesn't work for me, you don't order anymore.
And by the way, if you think it's working, I challenge you to stop for a while.
Yeah.
Try it for 2-3 weeks, see if it works, and you're like, wow, this stuff works great. Great.
7 out of 10 people.
You know what? Stop for a week. Stop for 2 weeks.
How dare you?
I'm not sure the client wants to say that.
No, but
do it.
It's true.
Challenge.
It's the only way.
And then start again and see. You will likely realize what we've realized, and that is that Relief Factor works. It will give you the relief that you're looking for. Just go to relieffactor.com. That's relieffactor.com.
What do you mean it's last call?
Oh, righty. That is it, ladies and gentlemen, the end of your Daily Mojo. But before we go, as always, let's find out what we learned today. We learned the science is settled. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is hot. 97% of scientists agree.
Yeah. If she didn't have vocal cords, even better.
Thank you. We learned that you should, this spring, look for the new Pringles wine in a can. It's going to be a whole marketing push, and I think this is just going to be standard.
I think, and it's a good idea, quite frankly.
Screw top. We have Pop Top now.
Exactly.
We learned kids today got it soft, what with their cushion cop cars.
No kidding.
Their cushion seats in cop cars.
They used to be metal seats in ice cold weather, and we liked it that way.
In the back of a stagecoach, even.
Try that.
After being pistol whipped, and we liked it.
On a rough road.
Both hills up. Both
in the snow.
Bradley J. Staggs, what, if anything, did you learn today?
I learned that if you're picking up six-packs in Doc Thompson's household, it's not nearly as much fun as it sounds.
No, it's not.
It's really because it's not beer, you see. I learned if the largest Instagram following could buy you the presidency, Katy Perry and Victoria's Secret will be huge Democrat contenders this year. Huge. I learned that Chicago gutter water has a fugly stepsister. Its name is Crocodile. Damn, that stuff is. Do not Google crocodile.
It's Krokidl.
Krokidil. Right?
Idle, I think it is.
Just don't, you know what? Don't even bother worrying how to spell it because it is nasty. You do not.
Google that with the word drug. It's a flesh-eating drug.
It's
you see people with their arm, and you see the side of an arm. It looks like one of those medical journals where they do a cross-cut of somebody's body so you can see inside in the sketch. That's what the arm looks like. Like you just cut half of it away so you can see inside.
What does it do? What does the drug do? It must be an incredible high.
Oh, it makes you feel great.
Must for about 30 seconds until you realize your arm's gone. And finally, I learned sailors in the Philippines hired female escorts. In other news, water is wet. Go figure.
This is a story from 1929.
God, what's this world coming?
1929 reporting. Bradley J. Staggs, what, if anything, do the listeners learn today?
Dan Maynard over on the Facebook, he says AOC would have been taken out in the first round of Jeopardy. That is so true.
That is true, but America's Next Top Model, she would have made it towards the end.
That is a
And who is that
very
you're
good-
talking about then?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And Donna Moss said, please, Juan Valdez is Colombian. Sorry, I did.
But how do you know he doesn't identify
as Mexican?
Thank you.
Good point. Mojo Mofo learned that maybe Doc and Brad will finally join us in the Ridge Zone chat room.
There's a Ridge Zone chat room?
I had no idea. See, you learn something new every day. That's the beauty of this. Ronnie Clement said, if anybody's got the goods on Joe, it's Hillary.
Oh, yeah.
That is a very good point. And Slut Monkey Jill Hole learned. I learned a lot about you two today.
Wow.
You know what? If you listen closely, you learn something really good about both of us every day. And over on the Twitter, Kinsey Richards learned, how dare you suggest a level of knowledge test for political candidates? Are you trying to halt Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's bid for president before she can run?
Yes, I am. Yeah. I didn't get to the new numbers on procrastination.
Damn it, you said you would today.
I'm going to do those tomorrow. How about that?
Fine.
What else do we have coming up?
That big thing you were going to talk about with a thing. And that guy with the horse.
And then after us is Matlock.
Unless, of course, you're listening to the podcast, in which case it could be us listening, which is what happened this morning. It just happened. Just depends on where you are.
All right, remember today's broadcast is a Ron Phillips production.
Yes,
Sic Semper Tyrannis. Good night, Steve Cannon.
Wherever you are.
Anya, now, you go home.
Okay, that was a good show for a Tuesday.
Yeah. It's not. It's a Monday.
Is it Monday already?
This is the seditious, rabble-rousing, liberty-loving